Good morning. It's another day. It's Thursday here on Prime Morning. It's time for us to serve you again right from now till 10 a.m. It's our pleasure, more than a duty, to serve you the very best of this morning, keeping you updated, informed, educated, of course, entertained here on Prime Morning. My name is KMJ, and joining me this morning will be Rosalind Felling, of course, the CEO, the Golden Girl, would also be joining me here on the show. And together, we're serving you till 10 a.m. We've got 4 hours to spend together, and you want to be a part of it. Get interactive on our social media page. We're streaming live on Facebook, and we're also on X, Instagram, and of course on YouTube. You can find us over there as well. Our WhatsApp line is always active for you to also join us and share your thoughts with us. Your contributions matter to us this morning here on the show. We're looking forward to that. But good morning, Shiro. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, KMJ. How about you?
You look like a 2-year-old.
I know.
What happened to you?
I know. Anytime I look at my face in the mirror, I look too young. Especially when I don't have makeup on.
Yeah, this is good.
I look too young.
I like it for some reasons. Right?
Yeah, you're not the only one who does. Yeah. Quite a number of people. I keep on getting comments every day. Mm-hmm. They want me to stick to the no makeup kind of look. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Good morning, everybody. I think I haven't, really joined in the intro since like Monday. It's been quite hectic for me this week, but it's always amazing gracing your screens each and every morning. So as usual, I'm very ecstatic to be here this morning. Like KMJ did mention earlier, get ready to be interactive with us on all our social media platforms. How was it nice? How did you sleep? Are you having a good week already? KMJ, how's the week going for you?
Not been bad. I mean, we've got just a day and then we'll say go back to this week.
I know, and March.
Yeah. So
yes.
We're counting on it, but it's been a good celebration of God month.
Yeah.
I think that we've been able to do a lot for our viewers.
Yeah.
And we look forward to what April will bring, Yeah, you never can tell.
Definitely, April is going to bring some more blessings into our lives. Anyways, okay, what do we have for our viewers?
Great stuff. I mean, Thursdays are always packed with a lot of things. And this morning we're starting off with News Flash. This is brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Now, I mean, there has been conversation about E-Levy, which a lot of people are very excited about. I mean, emission levy, COVID-19. The good thing is this, the betting tax, E-Levy, and emission levy is being scrapped.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are excited about it, especially the E-Levy. If you look at the number of people that are on the E-Levy, you're looking at about 23 million of the people in the country who are on the E-Levy. And for the fact that most of them had to just, stop using it, and now they have to come back to it because that tax that was really killing them has been removed, it will be a joyous, moment for them. And we're also looking at how government is going to be looking at, closing the gap in terms of the revenue. Now,
exactly.
If you're taking something out, what is the alternative?
What are you replacing it with?
Would it even work if you replace it with it?
The minority leader, Afenyo Markin, they say that exactly saying that he wants them to scrape off a lot more taxes. Yeah. Just do away with a lot more taxes and let's see how it goes for you, and let's see how you.
He said they did the same thing when they come and get
exactly.
About 15 of them, they actually took them off.
Yes.
But then brought another one that people felt like was a breaker. It was not just going to help them anyway, and they continued to protect it, but it really didn't go off. It's been there for all the times that they've been I'm collecting those monies. But even they came out and said they didn't collect any money. And all of that. But it's one of those things that we want to look at this morning. Now, you want to share your thought with us? Let us know what you think. Are you happy?
They are happy. They're happy. They're happy. Yesterday on social media, you should have just seen how a frenzy was literally caused. People are just waiting, especially the boys who do the bets. They are super duper excited about this one. And so I know that today, the comments that are going to come in, it will be just a joyous moment on News Flash. But then definitely we'll have some diehard New Patriotic Party fans that will also send in their suggestions, letting us know how unhappy they are about these taxes that are being scrapped, because guess what? There's a high possibility that something could be affected. And so we just hope and pray that there's a better alternative, a replacement of these taxes that are being scrapped, and nothing will be affected.
Yeah. You need the money.
We need the money. We need the money.
It's the money. Yeah.
We do.
Yes, as much as we're excited about it, we should be thinking about how they're going to make up for it. But that's going to be on Newsflash this morning. It's proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, folks, Papa Pav here, and we're grateful to them. And then we'll move on to talk about some more things happening in Kokonsa. What's going to happen in trends today?
KMJ, yesterday, the excitement and the kinds of comments that I kept. You know, the number one thing that is trending in Ghana currently is the scrapping of the E-Levy and the betting tax. That's the number one thing that is massively trending. When you go on X, when you go on Facebook, when you go on Instagram, everybody is talking about the scrapping of these taxes, because you know that this ruling government, it was one of their main policies that they would implement when they come into power. And so everybody, I would say about, it looks like on social media, about 60 to 70% of people on social media are very, very excited. And so there are some reactions that I want to bring you right after the news broke out yesterday that all these taxes are being scrapped. I'll be bringing these reactions to you. I mean, the reaction they're going to have on Newsflash will be as a result of what I guess the submissions that they are going to make. But yesterday, when the news broke out, fresh.
The power is in your hands. What you said, we'll bring it back to you.
Yes. So I'll be bringing that to you, and also some very other interesting stories that are also trending on social media. I can't wait to bring them to you on what's trending. And let me also say this, that if you have a birthday celebrant that you want to celebrate their birthdays today, this moment is the perfect opportunity for you to send their picture and the birthday message to our WhatsApp number 055-157-5757. If you bring it close to What's Trending segment or during What's Trending segment, I cannot celebrate them, okay? So please do it right about now. And it will give us enough time to add them to the list of birthdays that we have for this morning.
Great stuff. You're not missing out on that for anything. Now, finally, and the team will be coming through to bring you some updates in the world of sports. And then we've got other conversations in between. Emoji will be joining us this morning as well. And we'll talk about relationship.
Yes, we are talking about relationships. It's a Thursday. I love Thursdays because we get to talk about relationships. Politics kakra, we do relationship kakra. So, ladies and gentlemen, today's conversation, we are going to look at cultural backgrounds. Cultural backgrounds, the role it plays when you're making a decision on whom you want to get married. How does it influence your decision? Okay. You understand? Is it highly, highly important? Is it something that you have to really focus on, based on, and say that maybe because you've heard stories about a particular culture or a particular tribe, and so automatically it's transcended into whoever that you're trying to do life with. So
a lot of examples are there.
So many examples. And so Reverend Dr. Ananaya Prempe, who is the founder of Authority Bible Church, will be joining us this morning. And then Reverend Daniel Annan, yes.
I don't want to meet these two people. They're going to be on my neck again. You go get married. Anyway.
You're not the only one. You ask for you. They even do it off air. They do it to me on air. So imagine. Anyway, so yes, we can't wait to have them join us during Let's Talk Relationships. So that's our conversation for today. Any experiences that you've had in relation to having to break up with somebody that you love so much, or because of cultural backgrounds, share your experience with us on our WhatsApp number. Or when the segment starts, you can go to our Facebook page, Joy Prime TV, and I'll definitely be reading them.
Let's check into Ghanaian proverb of the day as we celebrate Ghana Month and, advise ourselves accordingly with that. So, okay.
What do we have? All right.
What's that?
So we have knowledge is like knowledge is like underwear. It is useful to have it, but not necessary to show it off. Knowledge is like underwear. It is useful to have it, but not necessary to show it off.
So the key thing over here is to show it off, but not to exhibit that you're knowledgeable.
Yeah.
They're two different things.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, you have to have it.
Exactly.
It's a must.
Exactly.
Just like underwear. You can't do a. Yeah.
It's not something you have to show.
You have to be showing it off. The last time I was telling somebody that the person was asking me, why is it that I'm mostly very quiet, very reserved, especially in public spaces and all that. And I said that when I'm not invited into a conversation, I may know just one person out of the, let's say, 5 people having a conversation. I may know one person, and then maybe whatever they are talking about, I'm highly knowledgeable in it. But until I am invited into that conversation, I will not talk.
Yeah.
I will just be muting, I'll just be listening. I love to listen to people and see how people think. It's very, very interesting. So when you lay back, you sit back and you listen more, you end up hearing a lot of things. Yeah. And you may end up even adding more knowledge to whatever that you already have. So yes, in some cases, it is very good to just keep mute and just be a listener. Don't show off.
All right. And, well, if you're thinking about showing your boxers to your people in your office because of this, think about it again. That's not what we mean. Anyway, motivation cap sharp news flash follows right here on Prime Morning. You want to say good morning? And you're welcome.
Welcome to Prime Morning.
Newsflash is brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fee.
And thanks for staying with us here on the show. A big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise this morning. We have News Flash, and it's proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Now, you can check them out. Our branches are open this morning. Please do well and drop by if you want to buy some gadgets from us. It's very simple. It's quality that we're selling, and you need to be there. And check out our branches nationwide, and you can get phones, you can get CCTV cameras. We're selling televisions. We have also, air conditions that you can also buy. If you're looking forward to buying some accessories, we're giving you a 40% discount on any accessory that you buy from us, and that's Franco Trading Enterprise. Don't forget that you can call us on the numbers you see on your screens, and you can also check out Google Play Store. You can find us over there. Download the app. It's the Franco Trading app, and our website is www.francotrading.com, and you can get all the details you need over there. Our branches, any inquiries you want to make, once you have the app in your hands, and you're also available on the website, you can actually get all that from there. Franco Trading Enterprise says still phones papa fee, and we're grateful to them this morning. And thanks to you for joining us. Don't forget that you can send your messages to us, your contributions. Very much welcome. You can go on Facebook. We're streaming live on Facebook, so you can drop your messages in real time. And then you can also do so on our WhatsApp line. It's very active, so you can also send your messages over there, and I'll be reading them here on the show. Now, we're going to be checking out the front pages of the newspapers and what they have reported in a bit. Later, right after that, we'll be looking at a major issue. Now, the betting tax and also E-Levy and emission tax finally have been scrapped. Now, they're waiting for the president assent, and once that is done, GRA will be contacted for the necessary arrangement to be done so that you can have that effect on your transactions that moving forward. But that's another conversation that we'll be looking at this morning here on the show as part of what we're taking a look at. My guests have been seated here in the studio already. Let me introduce them, and then we'll go into the front pages of the newspapers. Then we'll begin our conversation this morning. I've been joined this morning by Mr. Osei Kwame Griffiths. He's here with us. He's a former director for National Identification Authority. How are you doing, sir? Good morning, and good to have you on the show. You slept well?
Oh, yes.
We're grateful for your time this morning. We've also been joined this morning by Mr. Ebo Backman. He's also a senior communicator for the Movement for Change. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Yeah, good morning.
I like your outfit.
Oh, thank you.
I almost brought another fugu here this morning.
Yeah, I should have.
You would have been 2-2. Now it's 3-2, 3-1.
Yeah, Ghana month. We are saying Ghana month, right?
Yeah.
So it would have been good if you had brought it.
That's true. Yeah, we've taken it very personal on this platform, actually.
Yeah, I know. Yes. Even when I saw the flyer, I saw your pictures everywhere.
Oh, that one. It's been how many years anyway?
And today, my first time appearing on your show. And I'm grateful. And it's a privilege to be sitting here and to be talking to Ghanaians. So I really appreciate it.
We're also grateful for your time, and thanks so much for making time for us this morning. And I also have over here Honorable Charles Aswaku Oredu joining us this morning. He's not new here. He's a family with us over here. He's a former Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs and also MP for Abrim. You spent time this weekend?
Yeah, I was in a town called Abodom. We lost one of our hard-working, party guys. So we went there to support the funeral, and as everything so far so good. The communities, and then the people, the chiefs. Yeah, so far it's going well.
Great. All right. Many thanks to all of you for your time this morning. And again, we say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise for his Papa this morning. They are making it possible for us to have this conversation. Please make sure you go and get your gadgets from them. Buy your phones. They have Nokia, they have Samsung, they have iPhones over there as well. And we've got accessories, whether it's a charger, it's AirPods, all of them you can get over there. And those of you who want to also get some air conditioning. Now, you want to monitor your homes when you're not around. Franco Trading Enterprise says we've got CCTV cameras for you, and it's very durable. Now, you can monitor anywhere at any time, and so just make your way there and get one for yourself, and you would never regret it. Franco Trading Enterprise is giving you a reason to trust some of these products out there, and we're selling quality, and so please do well and check us out. Download the app on your phone, so it's easier for you to see our branches and details that you need in terms of what number to call on and all of that. And it's Google Play Store, it's Franco Trading app, and then our website is www.francotrading.com, and you're good to go. It's that simple. Now, let me do quickly the newspapers we have over here. I've got the Ghanaian Times, the New Republic, and also have the Daily Democrat. Now, the Ghanaian Times this morning says, Ghana Traditional Council bans drumming, noise making in Gamashi. It starts from May 12 to June 11. And so please take notes of that. The Parliament approves abolition of E-Levy. Page 4, it's got a story on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. You can find that story over there. Ghana ranks high in labor utility services, business insolvency, and World Bank report on 2024. Reports that is speaking on that. The big story over here says President names 72 DCEs in 8 regions pending approval by assemblies. That's also captured on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. At the back page, we've got Ghanaians urged to use water efficiently, and NADEF invest over 66 million Ghana citizen projects as corporate social responsibility. The New Republic is here this morning. It says that the Signal Gate scandal, James Bond's lawyer coup foiled. Tachia's fury as 32 more scramble for booty. That's on the front page of the New Republic. And 24-hour fuel station soon. Tamaklo call to security agencies. And Mahama's plan to pull schools and clinics off national grid for solar power. Cabinet gives thumbs up. And king of lavish parties, packed accounts, freeze mute party king. And strengthening gold regulations for city stability. That's also captured on the front page of the New Republic. And then the Daily Democrat says that NACOC naps a British citizen with cannabis. And away from that, the life and legacy of Benjamin Kwame Arthur, a philanthropist, business icon, and a pillar of faith. You can read about that as well. A Dubois in $7 million US scandal, AG on the move. That's also captured by the Daily Democrat this morning. And fuel stations to operate 24 hours to see calls for security agencies support. And that's the 24-hour economy, some stories on that as well. So you can also check it out on Daily Democrat when you grab a copy this morning. That'll be all for the newspapers today. Now, just so you know, the Parliament has abolished the E-Levy, betting tax and emission levy. Now it is pending the President approval, and that will go to GRA for the necessary arrangement to be done. The minority actually demanded a head count after losing the voice votes on the special import levy. But the final count still stood at 126 for the majority and 58 for the minority in Parliament. Don't forget that the E-Levy, as it is now, has over 23 million active Momo accounts, and this is actually good news for those who are on it. There were more than all this as it stands right now. We've got over 400,000 active Momo agents, and the expected income was close to 7 billion Ghana cedis as in 2022, and we were not able to achieve that. We achieved a little over 592 million Ghana cedis out of that, the projection that we have in terms of revenue that was going to be raked in. Expected revenue from the E-Levy as in 2022 and 2024 was around 11.3 billion Ghana cedis, but we were able to actually realize 40% out of that target. Now, E-Levy was one of the levies that helped Ghana fast-track the IMF deal. Alternative arrangements have been made. Now, the government is looking forward to using the tax refund account and gold bond initiative. But as to whether this will be able to make up for the amount of money that we'll be losing as we scrap our E-Levy, betting tax and emission levy, we're still going to be looking at exploring those avenues. But of course, that's how the statistics stands in terms of E-Levy as at the time that it was in session and at the time that it's been abolished. This morning, that's where our conversation is headed. You can send your messages to us. We'll be more than glad to read from you. Let me start off with Honorable. Honorable, are you excited about this? In fact, the minority says that it's a good thing now. Are we excited about it?
Yeah, good morning. I think that for every Ghanaian, once you are asked not to pay tax, you jubilate. Yes, because nobody loves paying taxes. Nobody wants to pay tax. Even in advanced countries, people always try to evade taxes. But we all know that those of us at the top echelon of the Ghanaian society, we always know that taxes are one of the main instruments that government globally, will use to develop an economy or to develop a country. So taxes are the instruments, for most governments. A bit of history on this particular taxes, that we are discussing now. Now, if you remember, in 2016, when the NPP won the elections, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo won that landslide election. In our first budget, as presented by the Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta in March 2017, there were about 11 taxes that we call nuisance taxes that we did scrap. We abolished the 1% special import levy, the 17.5% VAT NHIL on financial services, the 17.5% VAT NHIL on selected imported medicines, the 17.5% VAT NHIL on domestic airline tickets, if you remember. Then the 5% VAT on real estate and all that. And even levies on Kayaye, if you remember, the Kayaye tax. We had to abolish all these taxes. And, of course, Ghanaians were happy and all that. But once you do this, you need to have alternatives because they are revenue for government, revenue generation for government. So once you abolish the taxes, you need to find means of getting those revenues, for infrastructure development. Moving on to the last elections, prior to the 2024 elections, government somewhere in 2022 had imposed this electronic levy, covered levy, the levy on the betting tax and all that. I think that in the wisdom of government thought that these were ways that we could rake in more money, to increase our infrastructural development as a country. Ghanaians didn't take it lightly. So if you remember Dr. Bawumia, the vice president then, and then as at that time he had been elected the running mate of the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, in our manifesto launch, it did say that once he gets the opportunity, once he's elected as the president, he was going to abolish the E-Levy and the COVID levy and then other taxes that the Ghanaians were complaining about. NDC also did same. President Mahama then, as the presidential candidate of the NDC, also did say, and it's captured in their manifesto, that they were going to reduce charges at the ports, they were going to abolish the E-Levy, they were going to abolish the COVID levy, they were going to abolish the emissions tax, they were going to abolish the betting tax. So at least about 5, main revenue areas where they said that they were going to abolish. So having won the elections, overwhelmingly, Ghanaians were looking forward, to hear something positive from the president. Indeed, during his SONA speech, he did indicate that he had instructed his finance minister, to make sure that all these taxes as pledged, will be abolished. So that was what we were looking for. And then when the finance minister also came to parliament, he did present the budget. And then we realized that out of the 5 or 6 taxes that the President John Dramani Mahama, said that he was going to abolish, so far they only touched on 2. That's the E-Levy and then the betting tax. So far, these are the 2 out of the lots that they said they were going to...
There's tax as well. There's
so 3. So COVID is still outstanding.
Yeah, but that has a special procedure they want to follow before...
There's no procedure.
The finance minister...
No, there's no procedure.
They have to take a look at it.
The minority is ready. If they bring that bill today, we are ready to help pass it.
Really?
But like I told you, every Ghanaian will be happy not to pay a tax. Nobody wants to pay tax.
This is the case of, okay, if you want to abolish it, we'll help you abolish it, but then let us know how you now make up for the revenue loss.
Yes, because you need money for infrastructure development.
You're setting the government up?
I'm not setting. It's a promise made by the president himself. And if he wants to be a promise keeper, then he should go ahead. I'm saying that now he started, out of the 5.
3 is gone.
3 is gone.
Yeah.
So we are looking for, I'm not saying that, yesterday, it was a bipartisan parliament. Everybody, supported this move, to get this bill passed. So for me, I'll not sit here today and say that, I'm not happy that this bill, Ghanaians complained, and if you're a leader, if you are serving the Ghanaian people, and then they complain about the taxes, you need to do something about it. So once the president has done something about it, why not? We are all happy. We are jubilating. We don't want your meager salaries. You don't want taxes to take away all your salaries. So once these have been initiated, why not? But then I'm just reminding the president that he's not done yet. COVID is still outstanding. And then the taxes at the ports, the levies that he said that he was going to ensure that they are reduced, it's also outstanding. That's all that I'm saying.
Okay.
Let me just land. Yesterday in Parliament, you saw the debate. We sort of supported it. There were some issues that we did raise. But at the end of the day, they got our support. And we are all going to be beneficiaries.
Okay. Moving forward, we'll be looking at the alternatives and how it would help. But let me move on to Ebo. You think that it was a mere fulfilling of promise to the Ghanaian people, or it is a burden that was on Ghanaians that had to be removed at all costs?
Well, let me say a good morning to your viewers and my colleagues here. I'm meeting Mr. Griffiths for the first time. As for Honorable, he's my man, except that it's been a while, let's look at the economics of it. I mean, yes, it was a promise. The president has fulfilled that promise. So, in that sense, it's good. It shows he's serious. He wants to be credible. He wants to be seen to be credible, especially if you consider the fact that prior to the election, Dr. Mahama promised removing the same tax Mr. Alan Chamartin also promised removing the same tax, and the president also promised, and he has done, because he won, so he's done it. I think it's good. But you see, whenever you reduce tax or you remove tax, three things happen in the economy. One, there's a reduction in revenue. Two, there's a reduction in cost of living. And three, there's a reduction in cost of production stroke, cost of doing business. So these are the three things that will happen in the economy instantly, okay? But the point is that, looking at the nature of the economy, if you reduce revenue and you expect cost of living to go down and cost of doing business to go down, how do you, fill the gap that is created? That is what is important. You either reduce your expenditure to match up, or you look for alternative source of revenue to fill in the gap. And if you look at what the government did, apart from depending on the tax return fund, they also increased the growth and sustainability levy in the mining sector from 1% to 3%, which is quite significant. And for me, that is one important decision that was taken by the government. Because if you look at the mining sector, even though the mining sector contributes significantly to the growth of the economy, it's one sector that doesn't generate enough employment. It's also a sector that experiences high rate of repatriation of profits. So even though in terms of numbers, it will give you a good picture of its contribution to the economy, which is quite good. But in terms of employment generation, in terms of reinvesting your profit into the economy again, they most of the times repatriate their profit outside. So it is good that the government has increased the levy there from 1% to 3%, so that we can have more money to support other sectors of the economy that are labor intensive. The mining sector is capital intensive. So now we can the gap that was created, that is going to be created by the removal of these taxes, will now be filled to a very large extent by this levy in the mining sector, so that we'll be able to invest in the agriculture sector and the manufacturing sector to increase employment, to increase government revenue and all that. So it is for me, the government has done so well in this regard. One, by fulfilling its promise, and also by looking for alternatives to fill in the gap. And that is why I'm excited, because if you look at the major problem, apart from unemployment being a major problem in this country, one other major problem is the issue of cost of living. I mean, if people's salary, take-home pay, as we call it, cannot take them to the lowest stations, let alone home, then it's a problem.
Feed them as well.
Yes, it's a problem. Because if you look at the wages and salary of Ghanaians, and you consider the cost of living, you realize that, I mean...
We're some magicians.
you come to understand why people call us the magicians. And all these things feed into corruption, if you like. And so, if you have a situation where the government is determined to reduce or to remove certain taxes to reduce cost of living and cost of doing business, I think it's quite significant, especially with the cost of doing business bit and cost of production bit. Because I've said it over and over again that the solution to our major problem in this country is production. In fact, no economist can convince me beyond that. And so if production is going to be the focus of the economy, then the issue of taxes are important. You have to make sure that the businessmen who are investing in production are going to produce at a lower cost. And tax components as cost build-up is very important in production. So I think the government in this particular issue of removing those taxes, I think the government has done so well.
Very well. Thank you. Let me move on to Griffiths.
Yes. In fact, when you... First of all, let me say good morning to your viewers, and then my brother here who I've met for the first time, and everybody in your studio. When you talk about Momo, Momo tax, the E-Levy, two words come to mind. First one is robbery, and the second one is contradiction. And I'll explain why I'm saying that. Let me start with robbery. What is Momo actually? What is it? What is it? When you take your mobile money account, it's an electronic wallet. And it also has a platform for you to make payments. So it's a mode of payment. Now, if you take an electronic wallet, one of the cardinal principles of taxation is that it has to be fair. So if I put money in my bank account, I'm not being taxed. But when I take money from my Momo account, I have to pay tax on that. That's not fair.
That's what you think is robbery?
Number two, you could also see it as a mode of payment. So I go to the gas station, the filling, what's the name?
Fuel station.
Fuel station. And you decide to take, we both buy 500 cedis worth of fuel. You decide to pay with money from your pocket, you don't get taxed. But using my Momo as a means of payment, as a mode of payment, I get to pay tax on that. That's not fair. So it is something that shouldn't have happened in the first place. Now, when I talk about contradiction, why do I use the word contradiction when I refer to Momo? This is a government that did absolutely nothing in digitalization of Ghana, but praised itself everywhere that they had done so much in digitalization. Taxing Momo is counterproductive because you rather want to encourage people. One of the main pillars of digitalization of the economy is to move towards a cashless economy. So it's important to encourage people to be using the mode of payments, that is the electronic wallet, as opposed to physical cash. So to me, I just couldn't understand. And I'm not surprised that the NPP also promised that they were going to scrap. Under a different leader, by the way.
Under
a different leader who was the chairman of the economic management team. So to me, it was Bawumia against Bawumia in this regard. So when I look at it, sometimes I get confused, and I don't know whether it is, you can call it politics as usual or what term to use for it. My brother was saying that they scrapped 11 taxes.
The nuisance
taxes. And introduced 50. More than 50 taxes.
Oh, but
let me go over.
But I've just started.
Your E-Levy was in 2022, right? You had a COVID levy, 2021, financial sector cleanup levy, 2021, energy sector recovery levy, 2021, sanitation and pollution levy, 2021, growth and sustainability levy, 2023, betting and lottery tax 2023, emission levy 2023, luxury vehicle levy 2018, communication service tax 2019, VAT was even increased. You see, some of us were part of in the 90s, actually, 90s, when I was the national organizer for TAIN. When Dr. Boche tried to introduce tax. That time, Elvis Efri Yankra was the SRC president for... Haruna was the NUCS president. Newman took over from Haruna as the NUCS president. The sort of wahala we had in this country trying to introduce VAT from our friends here, So when they came and they kept increasing VAT, then some of us get confused. So you see, when you look at this, in my view, Momo tax shouldn't have happened in the first place. And I've seen a video of Dr. Bawumia saying that these are modes of payments that are used by people who do not have much in society.
Yeah.
And therefore, it shouldn't be taxed. Then you get confused. Who was in charge of the economic management team? If such policies were coming out of the same government with the flag bearer and the chairman of the economic management team saying something else. So
maybe he had a rethink about it and figured that maybe you could also.
Or maybe he was not really in charge. I mean, there are so many ways of looking at it. Or maybe there was somebody who was playing the role of the leader of the economic management team,
and not him.
And not him. You see, so I think it's in order that it's been scrapped. It will help the digitalization agenda of this country. I expect that. I want to assure my brother that all the promises that we made, the taxes that we're going to do, we're going to do it. It's just procedural, differences that has delayed one or two of those. So rest assured.
But as it delays, you are raking in more revenue as it delays.
You mean the nation is raking in more money? It's not us. Don't forget that. You see, I keep saying that budget has two major components. You have revenue and you have expenditure. It's not always that as a government you should be raising revenue. You can also cut your expenditure. And that would also affect your balance.
And that you have done?
Oh, I think we've done quite a bit. We promised to have only 60 ministers. In fact, we haven't even gotten to 60 yet.
What about the ones at the presidency?
Oh, which ones are the president? You mean the...
you want me to start mentioning their names?
You can do that, but here's the deal. Here's the deal. Take Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, for example. He's a minister with a staff of about 3 or 4 people.
And he handles a budget of...
It's not a handling of the budget.
If you have 3 or 4 people and you have a budget of about 78 million Ghana...
He came out to justify that, and he said that it's not just for his ministry,
but for
his office alone.
But for which of them? No, he's saying that. He just said that.
To be fair to Felix, he said GNA staff, GBC staff,
of course,
and other agencies, they are all captured.
They all form part of it.
You see, just like when you say the office of the president, NI is under the office of the president. There's a lot of institutions under the. If you say Ministry of Communication, it's not just that.
Oh,
it's
so
not just a ministry.
Now you know.
Oh no, it's not now that I know. We've always known that.
Now you know.
But you see, the fact that the whole ministry has been reduced to 5 people. Two deputy ministers under President Akufo-Addo, each having SUV and a saloon car. The fuel, their drivers, and all those things are cost that. Let's not underrate those things.
Yeah, but you're also looking at how much those,
you plan to spend over 224 billion. You plan to spend over 224 billion, and this is the lean government. But we have a big belly. But
you see, that's why when you give me figures, you see, one thing I don't like about the MPP is that, for example.
But you were just quoting figures.
Wait. When you are talking about we love this money, so and so, they talk about gross national reserves. Who does anything with growth? When I sit here and tell you that MPP is spending so much, I will tell you, I will just oppose that against. So tell me, how much did you spend? The same
KMJ, I always say that an increase in total revenue. Last year, the total revenue was about 184 billion, thereabout, and now you're going 224. An increase in revenue should not lead to an increase in the level of poverty in Ghana. An increase in revenue should not lead to an increase in the poverty rate in Ghana.
It's rather supposed to decrease it.
Yes, because that for Ghanaians. For Ghanaians, the government is raking it because the finance minister was boasting that, this year we are going to bring in 224 billion. So he's happy that they are going to get more revenue. If you are going to get more revenue, then the poverty rate should decrease. Ghanaians should benefit. Ghanaians should have a proper take-home pay. Ghanaians should be able to afford electricity, the electricity bill. Ghanaians should be able to buy fuel. Ghanaians should be able to pay for water bill, the cost of water. Ghanaians should be able to pay for basic things. So you can't generate this revenue and still come back and then complain that there's bills here, there's debt.
And that assessment is going to be made when? In the middle of the year or by the end of the year in terms of what the complaints that they will bring? We're going to assess them, or we're assessing them on 3 months already.
I should be able to have enough money after paying my electricity, water, and...
That's what I'm saying, that in the second quarter?
Now. Why? We just voted. We voted for them. We voted for them for a 4-year. We gave them 4-year mandate.
Yeah.
And we are expecting as Ghanaians to benefit from day one.
Okay.
We are not going to give them any...
and they haven't been able to do that.
Electricity bills are escalating. Fuel bills are going up. Water bills are going up. People cannot afford the hospital, and then school fees are also going up. So for me,
let me come in here.
It's
important to make this. When the MPP is talking this way,
let me take. I'll come to you. Let me take a boost shot and then I'll come back
to sit between my
it's hard work.
because you see, if you really want to be fair and you want to be very objective in analyzing the situation we find ourselves in as a country, certainly a government that is 3 months in power, you can't expect so much from the government, but we can only hope that things will get
by projection.
Yes, because I have listened to the MPP's argument just immediately after the press conference. After the budget, they had a press conference, and if you like, they boasted about their 5.7% growth rate and juxtaposed that with the
four that the finance minister was talking about,
and concluded that we were resetting backward. I mean, for me, that was not fair. It was unfair. It was what I call a fallacy of false equivalence, because your 5.7% was an outcome. 4% is a projection. So you can't compare an outcome with a projection. It is false equivalence. So, yes, we expect this government to do well, because MPP itself, 2024, beginning of the year, their projection was 3.1. Then they amended it to 4. Then they achieved 5.7. So let's be hopeful that this budget, honestly speaking, personally, I was expecting more money to be spent in the area of agriculture. I was expecting about more than 1%.
There have been a few concerns.
So,
regards to that as well.
But apart from that, the budget, if you look at the budget, I mean, it's a good budget. Let's be honest about it. Except that I didn't see any strategy in the budget to deal with the issue of our debt. Honorable was talking about increasing revenue, forgetting that the debt overhang we have as a nation is scary. Let me tell you, 2027, 2028, if you look at the figures, the kind of money we need to pay, the kind of debt we need to service, 2027, 2028, it's scary. And these are debts we have already negotiated. We can't go back and renegotiate again. So that is that is the kind of conversation we need to have as a nation. But the issue of comparing MPP performance and NDC performance, or expecting so much from this government, when we know that the last administration, honestly speaking, some of the things that were done, were not, they themselves they know. And the MPP itself has done its own research
to find out the findings
why the party lost. And the economy mismanagement is one of them.
But the report is not out.
Of course.
But there have been conversations about the report.
So where did you get this?
There have been conversations about the report.
When the report is not out.
So I'm saying that, given that what happened last year, or in the last 4 years, or however you want to look at it, certainly would have repercussions on this economy. And that is what we're experiencing. So money that would have been used for investment will now have to be used to service debt because of excessive borrowing we had. So, yes, we are going to have, we are going to cut expenditure. We are going to have some revenue in to help manage the economy. But I think we need to manage the expectations. I'm being honest with you, because the nature of the economy we have,
it's not one that you be so.
Yeah, we shouldn't.
Much looking for.
Yeah, we shouldn't. And I think the NDC itself must be able to communicate in that light, because it looks as if the expectations of Ghanaians are so high, and if you don't manage the expectations, no matter how you perform, because people had high expectations,
it still wouldn't make sense
to them. So they need to. But I want this government to succeed, not because I want the government to win the next election, because if this government succeeds, all of us will benefit as Ghanaians. Yeah. Then people will get jobs to do, hospitals will be built, schools. I mean, these are the things we need as a nation. That is why, if you look at our great transformation plan that Mr. Anachamonte put forward for Ghanaians to consider, production is at the center of it. That's why I'm saying that this government should focus. There's one minister I'm beginning to like so much, is the Agric Minister. His passion for production increase is one that blows my mind. And I would be glad if it's not only about talking, and that he will walk the talk and make sure that indeed we increase production in the agriculture sector. So for me, that is my take on.
Okay, do 2 minutes for me, and let me go to Geoffrey on the other side as well.
First of all, let me say that the economy and the issues that my brother is talking about, you can put a label on it and say, made in Ghana by the MPP. The MPP has created this mess that we are in. Look at debt to GDP alone, the debt that hangs over our neck. We left 52% debt to GDP. I got to a point we were wavering in the 80s. As we speak now, it's about 70-something%. You see, so when they speak that way, they know the mess they have created. So they expect that there will be challenges going forward. And then they are rather, instead of, apologizing to Ghanaians for the mess that they have put all of us in, that we are trying to clean up. You see, they try to gain political capital out of it. And that's not fair to the people of this country. You see, anytime I sat in studios before the election, I kept saying one thing, that as we speak over here, the average Ghanaian there is also experiencing the economy in a different way. So we need to understand that. Let's not underrate, the intelligence of the people of this country, So I think that, some of these things that we are having to shoulder as, government and then, clean up is because of the mess that we have had in the past. You left in the account that, the debt service account, just $115 million. When we had, this year alone, we've paid billions of 115 million cedis. $64,000.
Where did you get the money from?
$64,000.
Where did you get it from?
I beg you.
Where did you get it from?
I beg you, I'm coming. You allow me to flow. You see, and when we have paid almost 7 billion out of that in the first quarter alone, we have made that payment. We have had to squeeze money to make sure the lights are on. You didn't prepare enough adequately for it. When you knew as far back as October of 2024 that there was going to be pigging of the West African pipeline, you should have rather, as a responsible government, made sure there's cheap form of fuel around. At a point, we had to keep the lights going with refined diesel, because that was what was available. And so arrangements were done from Nigeria and what have you to make sure that the cheaper form of fuel arrived in this country. You understand? So all these things, we have had to do that.
You take over assets and liabilities.
Yes, but it's not.
Yes, you take over assets and liability. But you keep on talking about the liabilities. What about the assets?
Please, we took over
What about the assets?
The debt management dollar.
What about the assets?
You had only 64,000.
You think they've never mentioned any of that at all?
No.
Can you imagine that?
What about that? I'm saying the figures you quoted, where did you get the money from?
No.
Because you have been in office for just 1 month. Where did you get the money from?
Because of the confidence that people have in the leadership, because of the conflict. When we went to them and said we wanted them to invest in the government, they gave their money willingly. The rates are even lower now. It's about 17-point-something%.
Oh, but now you've got over 70 billion.
Please. Under the MPP, people.
You've added 70 billion.
Do you know? As a matter of fact, I graduated with. I did some of my book long things. MSc in accounting and finance. I finished it. I didn't go for the graduation anyway because I didn't go. But the point is that I became aware that when you talk about interest rates, the most, what do you call it, risk-free rates is rather the government's treasury bill rate. Mm. You know, the academicians in this country had to revise their notes because it turned out that under Akufo-Addo's administration, that was not even reliable.
Okay.
All the mess that you have put us in, you still come and sit here.
Let me speak to Geoffrey. Geoffrey, I'll come back to you. Let me.
You're aware of that war.
The Ukraine war, we fought it here in Bukom.
The rippling effects of that war. You're aware. Globally.
What about the countries around? Oh, please, I beg you. What about the countries around us? Check the debt to GDP of some of these countries around us.
Every country is going through this challenging situation. That's why most governments are losing elections.
It's not that most governments.
It's true. Because generally, prices have shot up globally.
Yes. But
generally. And it's as a result of this twin COVID and then the war.
But we're still making reference to that.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Still.
Give me a moment. Let me speak to Geoffrey.
Still ongoing.
Geoffrey is the executive director of
Ukraine war to be
Rapid Mobilization Africa. Geoffrey, can you hear me? Good morning.
Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me? I'm here.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thanks for the time this morning.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
Awesome. Now, finally, I remember the last time we spoke about these levies, you mentioned that indeed it's one of the things that if it's done, we'll be able to have the confidence of the people because it's a promise that was made. Now, the major issue that has to do with this, therefore, will be the alternative that we'll be looking at in terms of making sure that we're able to close the gap in terms of what we're losing. Do you think that what has been proposed by the finance minister, the tax refund and then the gold board, will be able to secure some monies that would stabilize the economy the way we want it?
Before we go on to that, let me correct an erroneous impression that the E-Levy was like sacrosanct. It was actually bringing something to the government, and that was the end of it. At the end of the day, it was actually increasing tax burden on the citizens. It was actually one of the things that will push people to do what we call technically tax avoidance. So other persons decided to actually run away from the platform and then use other means actually of doing business. And that means you are actually also losing some monies from that aspect of it. Indeed, it was also a problem of regressive taxation. That is, people also saw double taxation, where I took my salaries, I sent some of the monies to my mother, and then there was a tax on it already from my salary point. And then when I sent some of the money to my mother, once she was withdrawing again, she lost some monies again. When she was actually transferring to somebody again, she lost some money. So at the end of the day, from me to my mother, actually, I paid something on the tax again. From my mother to her actually grandchild, there was another reduction in that same money. So that's double taxation over there. So at the end of the day, those who were also doing business, those charcoal sellers and a few people in the informal sector who were trying to push money via the same medium. After government was getting the communication tax, government again went to tip off E-Levy from them. So they stopped using the medium. And so at the end of the day, it became a regressive form of taxation. Other social factors like waste of time. I mean, if I had to send the money to the woman who supplied me the charcoal, instead of sending the money to her via the platform, I would decide that my daughter or my son would take the initiative of using the vehicle rather, which was cheaper. And that was all the things that we're talking about, the traffic situations around it and all that. So at the end of the day, economically, it was not actually helping. And at the end of the day, it was actually regressive in nature. So it brought about cases of tax avoidance. And then in even some cases, it was also a poor targeting initiative of government. I mean, they targeted the wrong group of people. We're talking about them to rather on that platform look at big companies like Alibaba, Tonatong, Amazon, and then other companies that were doing business via the platform. But at the end of the day, when you have removed it, the opportunity is that rather people are rather going to come back onto the platform and they will be doing business as usual, and you get your communication tax. Again, it will actually bring the positives, like I told, the reduction in time and distance when people are transferring via the platform. These are the opportunities it will bring. And at the end of the day, again, to the government, yes, like you said, they were collecting some monies that we had issues with, and that was contributing to revenue. So once you remove it, there will be a gap. That gap can easily be covered with the things I've told you, the coming back of the people to do business on the platform. Again, there are other initiatives that this government has actually spoken to us about that they are doing, which we also actually in our discussions mooted for them to consider, like cutting down expenditure, mitigating corruption, but not ending with only exposing the corruption, but also recouping some of the losses that have been happening. Reduce the poor application of our debt resources. It's not wrong to borrow. Every time I hear the discussion, people lump it only on the additing of figures, as saying we were having a figure of 10 and we have added 20 cities more and it became 30 cities. No, that's not the stopping point. It is a proper application of the resources that you went to borrow. So if you borrowed and you invested and properly targeted into an area of agriculture and there were returns, there was a long chain of the value chain of agri, and people were running an economy that it was bringing returns, that means it's a good investment. So you borrow and use it wisely. There are countries like US, Japan who have borrowed a lot, but they are properly investing these resources. So they are getting back something better. During the times of borrowing, around the time when there's inflation, like our system like this, even the creditor loses more than the debtor. So at the end of the day, if you borrow to do the right things, you will get enough to go and pay back your resources. Again, government has reduced its taste for local borrowing from the treasury bill market. And at the end of the day, this is going to also affect SME businesses. You see, so government, when goes to borrow at that market, fights with the SMEs over, there's a competition over the resource over there. Once government reduces its quest for it, automatically the policy rate gets down a bit and allows these SMEs to expand by they get the facilities and the rates fall down for them. We need to also expand our tax net to cover some of the areas that we've not been succeeding in, like property rates, rent taxes. Look, if you recently heard about the GRA inviting somebody because the person owed some, personal income taxes, this is the initiative. You need to be proactive and ensure that you collect all those monies that are high income and earning, personalities. You need to be taxing them. You need to explore other means, and these are the things that when you do and do them well, you at the end of the day will be recouping some monies that are escaping your tax net. And at the end of the day, you get to do better for yourself. What the finance minister again did by going to the market to engage with the business owners on the streets, it's a good thing. Tax communication is one thing we have to improve. Let me tell you, in 2023, there was a high collection figure, even though the employer strength at the GRA was low. It means that something was going right. It is the introduction of the payment platforms, the digitalized platforms, and then also the relationship officers who were introduced. When you tell people what they have to pay, how they have to pay it, and introduce easy ways of paying, is a way of simplifying the tax system, they will pay the taxes. Beyond that, there's a standing block. That is, you hear people paying tithes in churches, but when it comes to paying taxes, they actually cringe to pay because they want to see what you are doing with your tax resources. That's the problem. Because when you go to church, you get Kofi Ahmad, the accountability and transparency on it is clear. We buy the church bus, we all see it around. We saw the churches that they bought the chairs and they went to the church. But at the end of the day, when you come to talk issues about tax resources, majority of the people are saying, what are you using the resources for? And if you communicate right and they see that you are using their monies well, you are not digging pits at $58 million, you are not giving them invisible dams at $12 billion, that is the problem. Let me tell you, corruption alone is taking away about 60% of the potential growth of this country. Because you've heard in recent times what people are taking from this country. All these are school buildings. $12 million. If you put it in Ghana, it was $1 to 1,000. Sorry, a balance of 1,000 cedis. Go around it and see how much you're talking about. 15.5 multiplied by 12 million. I mean, just go around it and you see how much we have lost and how many school buildings we could have built from that one alone. So that's a problem. You borrowed money maybe, or you took money from your resources. You wanted to build hospitals, but you have $400 million. You decided not to rather build about 20 complete hospitals to use it, but you have invested all and smarted it all around the place. And at the end of the day, right now, we don't have a single hospital that can take off the load or make some, support socially the people of Ghana. But $400 million is hanging. That is the problem. Soglami, you borrowed the money. Soglami is still sitting there. You are not renting it. You are not selling any apartment over there. But the interest on that borrowing is accruing. That is when debt becomes a problem. Because you are paying interest on it, you are not getting any value, you are not getting any returns, but you're only accruing debt. That's the problem. So once we've done all these, we'll get some money to come and replace the gap that is created. Gold board, as you said, look, as a country, I've always mooted. Why should all the MNEs, the multinational enterprises, come to this country, be able to dig gold? But Ghana, we cannot have the Ghana Consolidated Gold Company, where you and I sit in here, I'm not a rich man, but I can have 100,000 Ghana cedis. If you are ready to come for it, I'll give it to them to invest it in a company so that we can locally produce, owning it by the people of Ghana in an asset that we can actually start mining our own gold. Look, if you still continue to put cocoa in sacks and you export it, that is your downfall. If you want to export gold in a stone form, that is your downfall. If you are putting the value chains in place, you are teaching students how to learn refinery and then also making jewels. But when they learn it, they sit down and they can't do anything because you are exporting the gold away. Why don't you add value to your cocoa, add value to your gold? And then even the financing of these ones. If Men's Gold can convince Ghanaians and get their money, why can't Ghana government use a document, properly arrange it, and get people, very smart people, to run an industry where we will put our monies in it and get the profits from it? That is our biggest problem. Because we are hearing economic growth of 5.7%, but majority of it was in the mining sector. What happened in the mining sector? Majority of activities in the mining sector were very, very hurting to our agriculture. People were buying people's farms and destroying the cocos and looking for gold. Others dipped into our water body and they were mining from there. So at the end of the day, now Ghana Water Company had to buy more chlorine and other additives to treat the water. That is high cost. So the mining you were praising, the increase in production that they gave you the GDP growth is actually hurting your agriculture, hurting your water. People were losing their farms. At the end of the day, that's the problem. So you are dwindling the sustainable economy part of it, which is the agrarian economy, and then you're actually growing a sector that is not sustainable, that is not the best for your environment, that majority of the people are not involved there. Most of the profits made from mining are repatriated from this country, and even to some hurting part through illicit exports and transfer pricing. For the big companies, it's transfer pricing that they can also, adopt, and then also that's tax avoidance. And then for the people down here, the people investing are most foreigners. You can see the Chinese people in those waters with our people. After they mine, they repatriate all the profits. So you see a GDP growth, but how many people are actually benefiting from
right here in Ghana? Okay,
problem of the country.
All right, very well. Thank you very much, Geoffrey. I think that you've been able to make it understand exactly where we stand and where we're going with this whole, taxes that have been removed right now. Many thanks for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
Great. And that's Geoffrey Capital Kansi, Executive Director, Revenue Mobilization Africa, joining us this morning and sharing his thoughts on the scrapping of the betting tax, the E-Levy, and the emission tax. We still have the COVID tax to deal with. Big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise this morning. We have a news flash here on the show. I'll be reading your thoughts and your contributions in a couple of minutes. But back in the studio, I still have my men over here. And Ken Ashibe mentioned earlier that, first of all, this was a non-starter, bringing this whole betting and E-Levy, especially the E-Levy tax into the country in the first place. Now, we've been able to deal with these things. What are some of the things that if we're not able to look at very well, it is likely that we will not be able to achieve what we want to achieve? And that's more like an advice that the NPP would want to give to the NDC.
Yeah, KMJ, I think that it's all about expenditure. If you spend more than you have, it
doesn't look like the government is spending more than they have.
Oh, we are going to get there.
It's a matter of time.
Oh, yeah, it's a matter of time. No, it's a typical.
Is that what the NPP?
No, you're an economist. It's a typical African.
Is that the experience of the NPP?
I've lived under so many presidents in Ghana.
And it's normal.
And I'm saying that it's structural. It's structural. We need a lot of development because it's a developing country. So you need more roads. You need to extend electricity. You need to extend water. You need people would have to have access to healthcare. How do you provide all these things? By borrowing, because you don't have enough revenue. Absolutely. By borrowing. Government may try to cut down some expenditures here and there, but at the end of the day, anything. Now look at the road sector. There's so much that would have to be done. We need a lot of infrastructure in Ghana. So no government will sit down and say that once people are complaining, the president goes around the country, he talks, and then the chiefs will tell him, "Oh, Mr. President, we don't have a school here. We need this. Mr. President, we need a hospital. Mr. President, our roads are not good." How is he going to get those roads, the hospitals, and then the schools? By borrowing, because we don't have enough revenue. We don't have enough revenue. Again, as my colleague Ebo rightly said, we already in debt from Kwame Nkrumah. It has nothing to do with NPP government. From CPP. It started from CPP. They left us a debt. And every government that comes...
manage it better than others?
Every government... No, we've not been able to manage our debt.
Under your government, you think you manage it better?
I'm saying I don't want to limit it to NPP. And
yeah, but I mean, if you look at the trajectory...
It's a structural thing that we are confronted with as a country. And I'm saying that any government that comes, every government that has come in after Kwame Nkrumah, has succeeded in adding on to that debt. No government has reduced the debt. They'll leave and then they'll add on. They'll leave and they'll add because they want to be seen doing projects. They want to be seen meeting the expectations of the people. Then they won the elections, overwhelmingly. Promises were made to communities and then towns, and then how do you fulfill them? Very soon, Labour will also be, because Labour has been promised that the 10% is an initial adjustment, and then with time it's going to go. They will come at you. And then you also look at it, there are things that are not within your control. Fuel prices will start shooting up, if there's an escalation of conflict in the Middle East or wherever, and you don't have control over that.
So all the expenditure cuts and all this will make sense.
It's a typical African thing. It's a typical, for developing countries. These are the things.
So that we're going to find ourselves in the same problem again.
I will not be surprised because they have the history, they have the record. They have
taking the country back?
Oh yes, because the president is a president that we've known. Is a president who has led the country before. And what was his record? What was his record? He left us with a debt, huge debt that was not sustainable. That's how come Ghanaians voted against him. So for me, when things are well, if the country, the economy is doing well, we are all benefiting, we all enjoy, we are all citizens of.
But you don't believe in that. You don't believe that they'll be able to make that.
Even though
you believe that if they're doing well, everybody enjoys. But you don't believe in the fact that they are confident of doing what you want them to do.
KMJ, I don't believe that the president has the capacity to lift this economy or this country from where we are to where we want to be. But then, as a Ghanaian, he's my president. I wish him well.
I wish him well, but I doubt it if he has the gravitas to be able to move this country to where we want it.
Okay.
Ghana.
Let me take a few messages from our viewers, and I'll come back to Abu and Osekwame. Now, this one says, KMJ, good morning. From Awudu Idrisu in Yeji. And it says, Ghanaians are now experiencing the true colors of NDC. Yesterday in Parliament, NDC parliamentarians increased mining levies from 1% to 3% and growth and sustainability levy, which is ending this year, 2025, but now extended to 2028. So NDC scrapped E-Levy, but just introduced two taxes. Greeting to Honorable Ibrahim Babukari, Bono East MP, NPP Regional Chairman. Okay. That's your turn. Let me go to Master Planner. And it says, removal of E-Levy is good, but we shouldn't create wrong impressions about it. It is never true that E-Levy made people to stop using the platforms, as Geoffrey is claiming. He should tell us how many people were using the platform before the introduction of the E-Levy and how many people were using it after E-Levy was introduced. He's not giving us any data. Raw talks without any facts and figures. Kemjo, why is Honorable John Janapo shifting the goalposts so much? He's always changing figures for every single day, from 1,500 containers to 1,350 and now 1,300. Who are those giving him those briefings? He should stop that emotional rape. Now, well, I can tell you that the E-Levy actually lost customers when that tax was introduced. Now we have a little over 23 million people who are on it. We have about 400,000 agents that were on it. That was not the initial, figures when we didn't have the E-Levy tax. So that I disagree with you. Kofi J has data on that we've said it over and over here, that we significantly had people leaving that platform when the E-Levy was introduced. Now, KMJ, I'm sad to hear the minority and party supporters defending the rot that went on in the former Akufo-Addo and Bawumia administration. We have young boys and girls who, after investing, get into government and steal money that belongs to all of us to build an empire for themselves and their families. And you will hear a poor church rat of a person defending this nonsense. I got sick when the AG spoke about Eduboyin's case. I urged the AG to speed up his investigation and bring all perpetrators to book. I don't like him explaining himself to the public. He owes nobody an explanation from what inside Asasatre Lembele. Let me go to Alaji in Payfarm, and it says that good morning, my brother. The removal of the nuisance taxes by President Mahama and the NDC government should be commended. It was a campaign promise made by President Mahama and the NDC. It has been fulfilled. This goes to show that President Mahama is the man of his words, and we thank him so much for that. But in my humble opinion, I don't think the NPP as a political party has any moral right to speak when intellectuals are discussing about the economy. The best they can do is to and listen to wisdom. We were here. We are where we are today simply because of the criminal management of the economy by them, and people never again. All right, let me go to this one over here. It says, greetings, KMJ. It is clear evident that John Mahama came to power for a revenge. Is this the kind of experience that John Mahama told Ghanaians that he has acquired? Now, let me show you why Mahama has come for a revenge. They tried all necessary and unnecessary means to get the majority in parliament. They tried all means to get more council of state members. After getting majority everywhere, he can now do whatever he wants to do in his governance, especially targeting and jailing the Akufo-Addo appointees, removing top personalities from their legitimate positions, and above all, benefits everything that he and his party wants to benefit. Can anybody tell Ghanaians that resetting Mahama told us is what we are seeing? Please, KMJ, let the NDC man tell us if the resetting has begun or not. What an incompetence government. And not in Aguna Swedru. And Mr. Sekwame would respond to that. Let me go to Alasan Sese, and it says that good afternoon, good morning to everyone. Ghanaians are happy as the direct stealing tax has been abolished by the NDC government led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and the other unpopular taxes will follow soon. And Ghanaians say kudos to the president and the government. The NPP have no shame at all after borrowing across the world and naming the borrowings Dutch bonds, sovereign bonds, etc. They end up giving Ghanaians painful head cuts, and they are now saying they were calling to scrap the same taxes that they themselves imposed on us. As for NPP, never again or never again. Okay, let me go to Musa. Abator in Asawasi says, thank you, President Mahama, for staying true to your promises and taking the bold step to abolish the E-Levy, betting tax, and other nuisance taxes. Your decision to ease the burden on hardworking taxpayers is a testament to your commitment to welfare of the people. We are deeply grateful for your leadership and the efforts of your dedicated colleagues in considering the plight of the suffering masses. We are praying for your continued success and the prosperity of our nation under your guidance. All right. This one says, please stop investing this NPP guys to your inviting. What have they done to you? Take it easy on yourself. Good morning, KMJ. Stephen Opoku from Saki Michelle Camp says the MPP not believing in the budget presented by Atu means they were actually going to worsen Ghana's economic problem by maintaining and adding more taxes if they were to win the last election. There's clear indications in the budget which shows that we are really resetting this country. If they have nothing to add, they should sit back and learn how proper a country is run. I have so much believe in this Mahama administration and hope by end of the 4-year term they will do Ghana some good and put NPP to shame. Good morning, host and guest. Thank God the E-Levy is given back to Ghanaians that it was used to to bath in the sky by the rich. Let's all know that religiously the rich is taxed to support the poor. All governments should therefore be guided, as President Mahama showed the way. NPPs alone with only 10% of the population, they will remain in darkness and will never see light until they change their bad ways. We Ghanaians know Rome was not built in a day, so the future is bright for us and the President Mahama. God bless Ghana and the government. And that's Saibu Awuni in Kamvili who sent in that. This one over here says, good morning, KMJ. It is we thank the government for taking away E-Levy and betting tax. There's an interesting development going on in our energy sector. Minister of Energy John Jinapo told us the previous government left only 48 hours of power to keep our lights on, which turned out to be false. Same minister told us ECG have 3,000 containers at the port. He later came back to say the containers are 2,500. The same minister is telling us out of the 2,500 containers at the port, 1,300 have gone missing. All these are settings, and it's very unfortunate. All they sought to do is to create fear and panic and attribute the current doom to the missing containers. We need to get serious as a country. Governance is a serious business. K. Frimpong. Okay. Good morning, KMJ. The removal of the taxes is a step in the right direction. It will ease our burden a bit. However, JM and his people should stop blaming Akufo-Addo and get to work. What about me? Mess you came and met must be fixed, because you were very much aware of the problems in the economy when you were campaigning. Stop the blame game. In fact, it's shameful to keep referring to Akufo-Addo when you now have a mandate. Get to work. 4 years is just around the corner. Galamsey is worsened. The price of cement, petrol, and other food items are increasing, and we don't need any flimsy excuses. Abdul Majid in Kumbugu sent in that as well. Okay, Osakwame. And I'll take Mr. Bo's last words and then we'll wrap up today.
I get amazed when I hear the MPP speak this way. First of all,
and you're making reference to
what my brother said, and some of the things that
the comments. Okay,
the comments that were. Look, it's not business as usual. We are not going to overspend. This is a very responsible government. And I can assure you that even the selection of 60 ministers, which is 50% reduction. Look at the celebration of the independence, 1.5 million. You spend 15 million, which is 90% reduction. This is a government that is actually putting in the effort to make sure that it is responsible in using the resources in this country. Now,
he thinks that it's a matter of time. You will not done it.
That's what he's saying. But let me.
4 years to do that.
Let's look at what they left us. Look, inflation was over the roof in this country, and if you compare that to our neighboring countries, none of these countries had even up to 20% when we were registering over 50% inflation in this country. That is your record. The dollar, you took it from 3.9. Some even say 4.2. Let me grant that to you. You took it to almost 18%. Look, you register, you were talking about 5% growth and that we have projected 4%. Look, if you take non-oil growth, so there were years that you registered negative growth in this country. Don't forget that, having said that, don't forget that JM, all that he did that you are criticizing here, he did that with one oil well. We used those resources to develop 2 additional wells and added it to you. We didn't get $1 revenue from those additional wells. But look at where you took our country. From debt to GDP of 52%, you took it to over the roof. At a point, even if we decided one day that we won't spend money on anything, we're going to service our debt, we didn't have enough money to do that. This is what you do. And anytime we say that, you say, Russia-Ukraine war. Let me give you some statistics from countries around us. Look.
You're doing that in 1 minute.
Debt to GDP in Cote d'Ivoire is 55%. Nigeria is 35%. Liberia is 50%. Burkina Faso, what do they have? It's 46%. Then you have taken us to almost 80%. And you are saying it's because of the Russia-Ukraine war. Did we fight it here in Ghana? Or perhaps Ghana was an island to itself and we were the only people who had something to lose from the COVID and Russia-Ukraine war. So when they talk this way, I get surprised. But let's not forget that Ghanaians, the people who are watching us, they are deciding. Somebody will say they know what's up. So, and I kept saying this before the election, that the people are experiencing the economy from a different way from the way you are sitting here talking about it. That was before the elections. Let me say it again. That they, at least, they know what they have been through. And therefore, you can't sit here and make it look as if, we have all of a sudden preach doomsday preaching that, the economy is definitely going to go back because it is in our nature to overspend and what have you. Yes, we need roads, we need water, we need all those things. But it doesn't mean that you run down the economy just to build roads. No, you don't do that. You make sure that you have a plan. That's why you should have a plan.
And the NDC has a plan?
Of course. You see,
and not only that. The plan that we have right now is a plan that can make us manage our expenditure well.
I think the biggest plan that NDC has is that all the plans, projections, and everything that we are making, we place the economy at the center of it. And we cut our quota according to the size of our material and make sure that we don't burden the economy in a way that the bottom falls down and there's nothing else left for this nation. Look, there is enough mess that has been created that we need to deal with. My brother was talking about the debt that we need to service in 2027 and 2028 alone. That alone, we need to sit down and have a cogent plan to make sure that those debts are met. We are doing just that.
Okay.
And the least thing that Ghanaians would have patience to listen to is for the previous administration to talk as if, they left us with something so beautiful and that we are going to, and still make it look as if we are going to mess up in the future.
All right, so let me take your last comment on it, and I'll take some comments from Fabrice then the way done.
Yes, and on the issue of, you asked the question, so what do we have to do to make sure that we don't go back to the situation we found ourselves? For me, in respect of the economy, one important area we need to look at, if you're going to make production in the agriculture sector and in the manufacturing sector, the focus of this budget and this government, then you need to look at the macroeconomic environment as well, because it doesn't make our business men and women competitive because of the high cost of doing business, the high cost of production. If you look at the surrounding countries we have, if you look at Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, you can even go as far as Botswana, Rwanda, South Africa. If you look at their interest rates, their inflation, and you compare it to ours, our businessmen are not businessmen at all. Because then cost of production is extremely high in Ghana because, don't forget that because of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, if you're going to take advantage of that, then one important area is to look at the cost of production. That will make you competitive. So taxes alone, which is very important, will not make your businessmen competitive. Because if taxes are low, but you have high inflation and high exchange rate and high interest rates, I have confidence in the new governor, the Bank of Governor, the new governor, Dr. Isiama. Yeah. I expect him to work on the policy rate. Now the TB rates have gone down. The policy rate will have to go down so that the lending rate will also go down. Because if you have only TB rates down and others are not down, then it becomes artificial somehow. So I expect that he will be able to do all those things so that we have sound macroeconomic environment, so that our businessmen can breathe well and become competitive on the international market. As it stands now, no, they are not competitive. And so that is why we keep importing. I mean, why should I buy a product here which is more expensive than the one that is imported? Yeah. I will never do that because I'm even though I'm a Ghanaian, I'm also looking at my pocket. Yeah. And the issue of debt, which is, let me give you some figures so that people, it's scary. Let's be honest, because of our reckless borrowing. 2027, our external debt, we are going to pay about $2.5 billion. 2027, that's what we are going to pay, about 2.5 billion. 2020, we're going to pay about 2.4 billion. So look at these two, 2027, 2020, that's external. If you look at the internal figure, it is even worrying. The domestic one, you have to pay, if you look at the 2027, 2028, you have to pay 57.8 billion Ghana cedis. Then 2028, you have to pay 52.5 billion Ghana cedis. These are money you have to pay, whether you have or you don't have, because these are debt that you have negotiated. You've been given grace period. You've been given some room to operate here.
Some of these debts have been on the.
I'm saying. Of course.
They are not new debts. These are not new debts.
Some of these debts some of them have been there for a long time.
I've been there for a long time.
Yeah, but it was 1.2 billion Ghana cedis when we left, and it's now over 700 billion.
But the truth is that
I don't have much time.
Let me land on point. So the point I'm making is that the finance minister should be able to put together a strategy so that we'll be able to pay this debt. Because if you don't pay this debt, probably you have to sell this country.
Okay, I like that. Fikuma says E-Levy officially scrapped. A loan tale says that President Mahama has fulfilled his promises. And Sly D. Great says MPP's criminal organization full of dishonest personalities. Anthony Derry says that you see this minority MPs, even 88 in number, they will still not go to parliament. And okay, so Derry comes back again. I think I've done that. Yeah, Bonsi says KMJ, the NDC is only interested in propaganda. They should get to work. Greetings, Honorable Charles, already MP for Abrim constituency. And that's from Yao Bonsi in Abrim. Now, this one says that, okay, let me go to Sami. Sami says that it appears that the NDCs are adopting a strategic approach, potentially taking Ghanaians for granted. During their campaign, they vociferously criticized certain taxes, labeling them killer taxes. However, they have now introduced additional taxes and maintained the COVID-19 tax. And I suggest that NDC supporters who praised this budget to revisit the market to witness the rising prices. The abolition of the E-Levy is no news. Those who have been harassing some journalists should exercise caution. As power is transit. Okay, so those are some of the messages that you sent on Facebook as well. Let me thank my honorable members for joining me this morning. I'm grateful for your time this morning. I really appreciate it and wish you the very best of the day.
I wish I had a minute.
Oh, you've had the whole day. I got the whole day. All right, so there's more coming. Let me see.
Minutes will not be enough for you. Minutes will not be enough for you. 1 minute will not be enough for you.
Let me say a very big thank you. Okay, let me say a very big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise this morning. They made it possible for us to have news flash here on the show, and you can look up for them. They've got some very good gadgets, quality ones that you can actually buy from them. So please go ahead and buy from them this morning. CCTV cameras, we've got phones and all of that. So please do well and grab yours. Now, this one is breakfast package that we've got. It's the Aishas, okay, the Aishas says that they've got this for you, and so make sure that you go check it out. And they actually provided
Is this Don Domani Mahama's Ghana?
Well, I just said big thank you to the Aishas.
You listen to this guy.
A very big thank you to them, but you can just get this package from them. This is really nice. For 5 people, you're paying 695 Ghana cedis. 7 people. I mean, this is good. Yes, a box pack is 300.
This is okay.
That's and it's quality meal anyway. So yes, make sure that you go and you can call them. Call them 055 738 5762 or 0265 417 997. And they provided us with breakfast this morning. And my honorable members are making choices already. They like it. They like what they are seeing.
What are these 200?
They love what they are seeing. All right, so make sure that you check them out. There's more coming up here on the show. And still, the Golden Girl is on standby with the latest updates in trends. And also, in our final hour, we'll bring you some more sports updates. And a bit later, we've got Emoji joining us here in the studio as well. And also, our relationship conversation is coming up as well. So all of these coming up here on Prime Morning. Please do stay. My name is KMJ. We're back in a bit.
Newsflash was brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Steel, fun papa fee.
Just seeing a young girl holding that tool, was it a saw? And was she trying to cut? What's that tool? I've forgotten all my pre-technical skills tools. What's that thing called?
It's a saw.
It's a saw, so I got it right. A girl doing that is really beautiful. And so what we just saw is from International Community College, and it's all about STEAM Fair 2025. I want to say STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and multimedia fair. Yes, the name of our company is there, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, so my name is Asia Dua Akumi, and it's time for us to delve into a very in-depth conversation about how STEAM Fair 2025 is going, will go this year. And so I have some students representing here, and I'm going to let our tutors, I believe, introduce themselves. So I want to start with you, then we'll come to the students.
My name is Richard Deji, and I'm the director of the school.
Okay. Oh, sorry, so you're not a tutor?
No.
Pardon me on that. Okay.
Reverend Brian, I'm a counselor.
Counselor. How about you, beautiful?
Blessing Dankwa, and I'm the vice president.
Of STEAM Fair?
No, of the whole school.
You're the vice?
Yes.
Vice president of the whole school?
That's like
assistant school prefect.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh, this is huge. How about you?
My name is Gabriella Edifo, and I'm a year 7 student.
Nice. And you?
I'm Christopher Deji, I'm year 8.
Okay. Now let's talk about STEAM Fair 2025. What really is it about?
Basically, it's just a fair to celebrate the inventions and innovations of the children. It's something we do every second term. We believe that project-based learning is an excellent way of teaching students practical skills that is excellent for the work life. I mean, they've been studying from first term, so second term we felt that during the second term they should put their hands to work. Skills-based education is something that is great. And we feel that when they develop those skills, it's excellent for them everywhere that they go. I mean, we also have, through the STEAM Fair, they learn a lot of soft skills, such as collaboration, teamwork, resilience, perseverance. So it's quite a very enduring term for all of them. And we also find a way by which everything that is on their mind, every intelligence that they have is put to bear. So we don't have students like, oh, this person is so good in math, so it's not that good. So your hands, everything is tested during that period.
This is really incredible. Yeah. I did spot some parts of the videos, younger ones, very young pupils who are being hands-on. And so you being a counselor, let's talk about the impact that STEAM has had over the period on the students.
Yeah, thank you so much. You know, we have a notion that most of the time great inventions come from the hands of a white man, and the black man is incapable of doing anything. But it's a time that we need to unearth that abilities and skills in the children, let them know that the work of invention is not the work of a white man, it's the work of an intelligent mind. Now, when you give them such an idea, they are challenged to know that they can do more. And over the years, this idea has actually pushed the students to go beyond even their abilities to do more great things.
Has it been difficult? Madam Vice President, let me come to you. Anyway, so let's talk about the involvement of the students. How does that make you feel, knowing that there's this opportunity for you to harness your talents?
I feel like it's really great that little children are part of this building and innovating and making products. So, for instance, I'm just going to share something. So, for my group, we're making a smart speed camera. I don't know if you know what that is.
You're making what?
A smart speed camera.
Smart speed?
Yeah. So, what that does is it just analyzes and takes, just tries...
Smart speed?
Yeah, so it measures the speed of cars. So, like when you pass through, and it prevents overspeeding, because when you speed, we send you a ticket and give you like your punishments, so like community service, and we give you a bill, so you pay the bill. So, but anyway, I felt that some of the younger children, some get the impression that they don't really know how to do stuff and they leave them out. But I found a way to bring them in by just giving them Legos and teaching them that you put this together to make a speed camera, and they were very interested. So I think that it's just a way to open their minds and teach them how to be innovative and very creative.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 14.
My goodness. How about you? How old are you?
11.
11. Let's talk about your involvement in this.
So I'm in the Smart Home group. What we're doing is we're making a small-sized house from scratch, and we've included lots of
small science house.
Size.
Science.
Yeah.
Small-sized house.
A small-sized.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we included lots of intelligent devices like CCTV camera, automatic lighting, and things like that, so that we can make the house more easy to operate. Yeah.
What influenced your decision to do that, your group's decision? What was the motivation behind it?
So we did research on which smart devices are like the most impactful. And like easy to use in like daily life.
Right.
Like the automatic lighting. So if you go into a room and it senses your
presence and then it turns on.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. How about you? Your group?
I'm in the electric car group. We have taken internal combustion engine, also known as an ICE, and we are converting it into an electric vehicle. Yes.
Electric vehicle?
Yes.
My goodness. How old are you?
13.
What's the youngest age in your group?
I think 6 or so.
Sorry?
6, yes.
6 is the youngest in your group?
Yes.
Your group, youngest?
4.
And what about your group?
There's somebody in year 1, so he's probably 5 or 6.
And what do they do?
They do more than I do.
When you say more than, oh my goodness. I really want to know. When you say more than you do, what exactly do they do?
Okay, so I gave them Legos, but they decided to leave the Legos for me to do. And some of them are doing the programming of the speed camera. So.
This is mind-blowing. Director, this is impeccable. 4-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 5-year-olds are doing this.
Yes.
How does this look like for the school?
We've been, it didn't just start today. We started STEAM or what some people call STEM. We started in 2013. We were actually the first school that started it. We brought the idea from Boston Arts College, so I brought it down and then we started the program. And we've been doing that for a very long time. So they started with basic, simple stuff, and now they've upgraded to the level at which they are right now. This year, we wanted to do something that is project-based, something that solves problems. And we believe that when you take students up here and they drop down, it's better for them to leave them at the bottom.
Yeah.
So that is why you see that they are trying their hands on more advanced stuff. One of the things I'm very happy about with the children, especially with the group that is working on water purification, we took a trip to River Birim to look at the devastation of Galamsey, and they were able to build up a simple water purifying system to purify the Galamsey water.
Let's talk about how they have access to, materials, equipment, every single thing that doing the researching here and there, just to have that knowledge to say that, okay, this is what I think is the problem, let's do this. How? Because I'm even surprised about everything.
Yeah, we work on themes.
Okay.
Last 2 years' theme was corruption. So they were able to, they were working with recycling materials.
Okay.
Some use banana to make a bag. So we work on, this term's theme is innovating for a sustainable future. So they have to come up with innovative product that is sustainable for the future. So what they were doing was, okay, now this is the theme. Now the student and the teachers gather together and then brainstorm. Then they come up with a kind of project they wanted to, like for example, the electric car, they wanted to convert. They didn't want to just build a new car, but they wanted to see if we could take a scrap car and convert it to electric. So that's what they're working with. And so they're partnering with E-Levy Ghana to build that. We also bring professionals on board. It's not that easy for the children. We also bring professionals on board to assist them to do that, yeah.
You are building great minds.
Yes.
That's what I see. On social media, sometimes you will chance on TikTok these comparisons with young Ghanaian students and China babies. And they are in crèche and they are already putting tools and cables together and all of that. Yeah. And then Ghanaians, some are still in A, B,
yes, I know.
That whole thing. Yeah. But you guys are also doing super duper amazing. Yeah. Now let's talk about how you're doing well. You are, developing great minds and everything. How can government be a part of this, harness this great thing that you're doing that could, at the end of the day, produce bigger and brighter future for these kids?
Yeah. Okay. You see, some years ago, we had technical schools that developed in the polytechnics and those
yes.
And it was great because those years, I feel about 30, 40 years back, we had great minds in those technical schools, and we made very, very great impact on this nation. Mm-hmm. Now, along the line, there was some break, and it became more bureaucratic, more development of the mind and things, and technology was put aside. But now the government is creating the awareness of the need for technology to produce manpower for the industries. Now, we started years back before this. Yeah. So what the government needs to do now having created awareness that we need technology, the government cannot succeed without partnering with the private sector, because the private sector is more the propeller of the economy, and they absorb more of the workforce. So they have to support the private sector to promote this idea. Yeah. Because the government cannot even absorb the students and people graduate who come out of that.
Exactly.
But the private sector is there, and they need to support the private sector. And the private sector must also trickle down to help these schools with investment, with some financial power, because it's very financial intensive. Mm-hmm. And our school is there. We're looking for investors, people who come around and say, yeah, the work you're doing is great, and we want to support you. Yeah. And we can also give them the force and the personnel they need in the job market. I think it must be a chain work that we must do. So the government has created awareness. They have the initiative. They have all the things that they can do to make the noise. And they must look at the chain. How can the private sector come in? When they come in, where are the students? What can we do to support them?
What can we do to support them?
We are hoping to...
Because we also have to look at after school, what next?
Exactly. An international community college is open up to investors, people who come and say, yeah, these ones are brilliant guys.
Yes.
What can we do? And we catch them very early. We talk about China's small children.
Yes,
something. And that is
together cables and all that.
And we are open to that. We're praying that some of these industries and vehicle manufacturing companies will come and partner with us and develop these minds. We will go places.
Definitely. It's all about STEAM Fair 2025. Where is it happening? When is it happening? Give us all the details, and then
it's happening Friday. It's happening just tomorrow.
Yeah.
We are in Committee 18 on the Spinkters Road. So it's just, the venue is right there. I mean, when you get to the DSTV all the way to the, it's a very small school, but we do a lot of this stuff. So a lot of dignitaries are going to be here, are going to be there. We have, we don't, because of security reasons, we don't mention the people that will be there, but there's going to be very important people coming over to look at what the children are doing, for the 2025 STEAM Fair. And we want to invite everyone. Schools, we know we don't have a lot of space for you, but just walk through, come look at what the students are doing, come look at electric vehicles, being built by children, come and look at the speed camera, come and look at prosthetic arms. They're actually building robotic arms for amputees. Come just look at them.
Wow.
And then we'll take it from there.
What time is it?
We start at 9:30 in the morning. It's going to go all the way to about 2:30. Because after 2:30, the children will keep explaining, they get exhausted. So the earlier the better. Just come 9:30, come and look at what the children are doing, learn from them. And if you're corporate and you want to work with us, we are very, very much open to corporate. To actually do things that are scalable. For example, the prosthetic arms need development. We need to develop that prosthetic arm, the robotic arms. Speed camera needs to be developed so that we take it to the next step. Yes.
Thank you so much for your time this morning. And all I will say to you, students, is all the best of Friday. We hope and pray that you will impress every single person that comes. And, the future is bright, no matter what. The future is really bright. And so it's all about International Community College 2025 edition of the STEAM Fair. And so please, if you would love to see these young minds, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 4-year-olds, being hands-on with technology, please and please and please find your way there tomorrow between 9:30 and 2:30 p.m. Well, that's it for this conversation. Thank you once again for your time this morning. Coming up next, I have some trending stories for you, so do not go away. We'll be right back.
Hi there. Thanks for joining us. If you just joined us here on the show, and thanks for sticking to, Prime Morning this morning. If you've been here since 6 a.m., we appreciate you. And we've got loads and loads of conversations coming up this morning here on the show. And the next one we're jumping into, what if you're an engineering person, you've got backgrounds on that, well, we've got something special we're going to be sharing with you here in my next conversation. So all you have to do is to make sure that you stay here with me, all right? Now, King's College London, UK, we've got a rep here in the studio in the person of Dr. Tabi Awotri. He's a lecturer in engineering, Department of Engineering, and he's here to tell us something that they're just about doing here in Ghana, and that you need to be a part of it. So let me welcome him, and then we'll get into it. Doc, how are you doing? Good morning.
Very well, good morning. Many thanks for having me, and a good morning to your cherished viewers and listeners as well.
It's your first time here in Ghana, or you've been here?
Yes, after 13 years. This was my first time.
Doc has been away.
Yeah, exactly.
Then it brings me to my next question. What brings you here then?
After 13 years, having schooled in Ghana and getting the opportunity to enter the academic environment, I've realized that there's been some differences between how educational content is passed between students in UK and our students here in Ghana. In UK, we use an approach called project-based learning, where the student is basically at the center of the entire learning process. and with support from the British Council through a project that we are piloting across sub-Saharan Africa. We want to see how we can institutionalize that, starting from various undergraduate universities here in UK, as well as primary and secondary schools.
I see. And it's what, project-based
learning.
What does it entail, basically?
Okay, so project-based learning is basically a form of teaching philosophy where the students basically take ownership of their own studying process. So it's no longer a method where the teacher or the academic pass the content to the student, but this time around, he or she serves as a facilitator to the learning process. And by so doing, industrial players are integrated into the whole curriculum development, and that is an approach that is being used by most Western universities, and that's what we are trying to see, how we can package that good teaching practices to other countries outside Europe as well.
Okay, so thereby doing away with the traditional method.
Exactly.
It's not helping?
Well, I won't say it's not helping, because I would say that for me, seated here, I was trained by the traditional method. But as time is changing, we need to also consider an evolution of how we pass academic content to our students. The era where the academic was so facilitator is shifting, because now we have technologies, and all these transformation requires a review of how our curriculum is developed.
Okay. Are there benefits when you look at it from both ends? What are the benefits?
Yes, so I can use myself as a practical example where during my learning process in becoming an engineer, there was one particular model where I took, when I go to the lecture room, it was more or less like going to copy notes from the board. But
which we've always done.
Exactly. But engineering, it's, I'll say, a profession that the student gets to imbibe the expertise as we involve them in the learning process. And that is why there is the need for us to see how, instead of just passing the content to the student over a block period of time, this time around we guide the student and rather cushion them during the learning process.
Okay, so it means that also, if you look at the benefit aspect of that, it means that there could be also some challenges as well. Have we been able to address that?
So of course, whatever has a good side has some challenges.
The bad side as well.
The key one has to do with finances, because in order to create such teaching philosophy, you need an infrastructure that can accommodate more workshop activities in the learning process. But that being said, again, change is difficult. Adaptation to a new environment has always been a challenge, where people that are used to the traditional or conventional means of passing academic content and asking them to revisit how they pass content is always also a challenge. But that should not deter us from making the bold step that we need to first start from a point where we review how we pass this content to the student. And once we begin to accept that there is the need for the change to happen, then we can think about the modalities. I feel that there are organizations that is ready to support in terms of the finances, but we need to make the room for the change to happen. And that's why I'm here.
Great stuff. In terms of students accepting the new model that we're trying to use, you've been an experience of it. Do we have others also potentially understanding and agreeing that this is the way to go, even though we have other means that we can actually use?
So I think that it all comes down to sensitization. If the masses are aware that this is what is happening at the West, and these are the benefits that comes with it, then that becomes the starting point. So as a pilot program that the Royal Academy of Engineering and the British Council is trying to support, I'm trying to organize workshop in various universities. I'll be in KNUST, I'll be in University of Ghana, and this morning I'll be going to East Airport International School, just to create that awareness. And again, I'll try to run a program where the students will have a feel of what project-based learning is all about.
So don't just go talk.
No.
But you've got examples that you for them to look at how it works.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, I'll solicit feedback from them, because that is what is also going to help me to ascertain whether indeed the change would be effective within the terrain that we have at the moment. I was in South Africa. It worked very well in South Africa. I was in Kenya. It worked very well in Kenya. So I believe that Ghana is going to be no exception.
Of course, and you should have been here before moving to those places. That's just by the way. Yeah. But let's talk about the impacts and what we're doing moving forward to motivate students to understand that this is the way to go. You mentioned that, you know, there are benefit that comes with the projects that you're here to do and all of that. Has the impacts been great? And if they have been, what are we doing to motivate more people to be involved?
Okay, so I think that the center of project-based learning is to help academic institutions to produce industry-ready graduates.
Yeah.
Now, there's lots of mantra out there that graduate on employment is on the rise. But I feel that sometimes it's a matter of the level of expertise that we give to the students in our various institutions. If we give them expertise that will make them market ready, then before they exit the university, they are familiarized with what they are going to expect outside the four corners of their institution. So that is where we are taking the whole conversation from, that we involve the industry so that whatever assessment, whatever task is given to them is a replication of what they are likely to see at the industry level. Yeah. And that would produce industry-ready graduates that would, in a way, help reduce graduate unemployment in the long run.
Over the period, I've seen many young people who maybe have not even been to university be able to create things that we've seen on the internet. Airplanes, we've seen some do cars and all of that, even though they don't have all the components that will make it, you know, a car that you can say, oh, somebody want to sit in. I've seen that happen. What are we doing to make sure that we're able to tailor this conversation towards the Ghanaian society here in terms of some of these things that we have seen spring up?
So I think that the main issue is when we are training students to be able to solve the maths, to be able to do the science, very often the challenges of tomorrow is not going to be the same as the challenges of today. But we should be able to train the student to be able to think outside the box, that in spite of the challenges, when they use the right learning approach, they'll be able to mitigate whatever challenges is in the future.
Okay.
And that is what project-based learning is all about, that even though we want the student to develop the hands-on skill, we want to be able to guide them on how best they can address any problem without looking at only the maths, because we can solve the maths, but what if the dynamics change, like what happened during the COVID? People had to adapt to the environment in order to find a solution to the problem. And that is what we are trying to institutionalize, that yes, our students can do the math. And I can give an example. In a lecture room, most of the students from Africa, they are exceptionally good when it comes to the theoretical concept. But when you ask them to dismantle an engine and fix it back, it's a problem. It's not that they are not good, it's because of the level of exposure that they are given to or introduced to during their learning phase. And that is the gap that project-based learning try to close in terms of bringing students up to date on how they should learn and the approach in finding solutions to problems.
Great stuff, and this is happening. So before we wrap up, let's look at where you're going again. Which schools are we going again?
Okay, so this morning I'll be at East Airport International School, and next week I'll be in K University. Okay. I'll be going to UCC as well, and then I'll come to University of Ghana.
Okay, all right, and it's open for anybody who's in school. They should just come around and come to listen. Exactly. All right, great stuff. And that's Dr. Tabi Awatwe. He's a lecturer in engineering, Department of Engineering, King's College, London, UK, and he's got this special thing that we're doing, PBL, project-based learning is what we are all looking at, and we want you to be a part. So if you're in any of the schools that is mentioned, make sure that you are there when it comes. Listen, let's all grow together. Thank you so much, Doc, for coming through and sharing this with us. You could have been selfish with it, but you're here. We're grateful. Now, there's more coming up. MOG is standing by. MOG Music is standing by with, beautiful, beautiful conversation, because he has the new wine, concert coming up. And he said, okay, so I'll tell you something about MOG. A lot of people didn't know that the MOG was given to him by Kwesi Thing, right? Before, he wanted to be a musician, not see him friend in Yaminipa. Anyway, he's standing by. He's standing by. When I see another golden girl for that conversation, please do stay. in the day. Pentecost for one pressure power. Anyway, yeah. But that's the man, Emoji Music. Nanaya Wache is here with me this morning. And I've got Barry over here. Barry is over there, right? And I've got Kwame over here as well. And they came with Emoji. Emoji, how are you doing? Good. This guy took over my production team and started talking to me. And I said, no, I'll deal with him. And I did. Bro, everything cool? Good. It's been amazing. Yeah. That has been good.
I like your hairstyle.
I'm joining you very soon. Now I want to be a backing vocalist for you. So I'm coming out Sunday. I'm coming.
No.
Whether you like it.
We can't pay you.
No, I'm not taking it.
No, we can't pay.
I'm doing it for free.
No, even that couple, we don't like it.
Really?
We don't like it.
Okay. Now you're not part of my conversation. Let me talk to you. But let's talk about the concert. I mean, this weekend, it's going to be awesome. What are the preparations? What have we done so far?
Okay, so a lot of prayers have gone into this year's New Wine because of the theme for the program, Back to the Basics. We want to focus on the very things that forms our Christian faith and foundation. And to bring that to light, you need to invest a lot of prayers into it. We were in Kumasi. We did Kumasi last 2 weeks. That was 16th of March. And it was mega. It was awesome. So Sunday, I'm trusting God that with all the work that has gone into the prayer, the team rehearsals, preparations, staging and everything, Sunday is going to be one unique service that people will really want to revisit.
Emoji, what started as something that you wanted it to become an evolution of, what you stand for, is gradually getting into, a space where I'm sure you sometimes get even overwhelmed, some of the things that, the testimonies that comes out of it. Did you project seeing how it has become right now? Why?
I mean, the strategy was for us to grow over the years. What we didn't anticipate is the speed at which we grow. Obviously, once you are focused on the assignment, God adds speed to what you're doing. And that's how gracious God has been to us. So sometimes you are overwhelmed at the speed at which
you're moving.
We are moving and we are growing and we are impacting. The length at which the things we do will go to impact people, and the kind of information we get, feedback we get from the people, and even the results, it's just overwhelming.
Well, what goes through your mind in terms of preparation for every single episode that or edition that you host?
The core mandate is to my greatest desire is to fulfill or empty myself when it comes to the season, what God wants to do in that season, whatever God has placed in me, for me to be able to empty myself fully and, fully process exactly what God has given me. So, first of all, you're thinking of the mandate God has given you, how this year you can work the process to make sure that what God has told you, back to the basics, must reflect in the life of people. Right. Not just they come in there to just listen to nice songs and blah, 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 just cry and weep. But when they go back home, they must go back to the basics. Those who have left the basics must go back to the basics to do the very things that form the very foundation of their Christianity: prayer, fasting, holiness, reading the Word of God, worship, thanksgiving, relationship with the Holy Spirit. Those things, your salvation, and they must go back to the basics if they've missed it. So that's the whole idea.
Okay, Barry, let's talk about preparations again. What are people supposed to be doing in terms of those who are coming on Sunday? Where are they supposed to go? How much are we taking and all of that?
Okay, first of all, they need to make sure that they come with a face towel. That's something that we kept saying in Kumasi because it was something else in Kumasi, and we are anticipating more of that in Accra. It's going to be at the First Love Center, First Love Church. That is very close to the UPS enclave, the UPS, and right behind Trinity Baptist Church, yes, in East Legon. And the rate starts from 100 cedis for a single ticket. VIP is 200 cedis, and a family of 5. That means 5 people can join combine powers.
It's very necessary.
For 450 Ghana cedis for a ticket of 5 people. Yes, family of 5. Yes.
And for me, basically, it's not even about the amount you're putting on it, because some of these events, if you're looking at what goes into it, as a what you're paying, you're just supporting the ministry, and that's what I believe in. But let's talk about what you personally will be doing on that day, and how many of the other artists that are supporting you and all.
Well, what I'll be doing on that day is, go extremely deep into worship and praise, you know, and prayer, and mixed with the word. I used to think earlier in the early days of my music journey that anytime we're having a gospel event, especially a music event, we used to call it gospel rock show. Yeah. There's no need for the word, because obviously we always listen to the word in church and all that. But maturing in the things of God, realize that you can't do without the word. The word is very fundamental in every facet of your life and any step you make. So we would have a bit of the word, prayer, and then worship and praise, so you won't even feel it. You just hear, part of the administration. So that's how it's going to be. My guests are poised. I mean, Pastor Isaiah, I've been speaking to him, he's very excited, ready with his team to come and be a blessing. Obaba Christie, I met her over the weekend, and she's more than ready to come and do anything for, even to minister for 2 hours. She can, yeah. Joe Metal is in South Africa. He'll be back this weekend, to join us for New Wine. He's very ready. My brother's here, helping me with a media tour we are doing, supporting. They were with me in Kumasi. They were amazing, phenomenal, and they're going to give even more in Accra. So all my guests are ready, and we can't wait to be a blessing to the people that are coming to be part of it. If you've not decided to be part of New Wine, make the decision now, because it's something that is worth spending your time to be with us. Yeah,
great stuff. And that's one of the finest voices you can ever get in this ministry. And he's putting this together again on Sunday. Please make sure you come through. It's New Wine, and if you've been there over the years, I mean, you know what to expect. But every year it's a build-up of the previous year, and there's reason why you have to be there. So please come through and grab your tickets. That's most important. Grab your tickets. The ticket is selling for 100, 200, and 450. And combined powers, if you're a family, I mean, it will be nice, when you come in 5s and 10s, 20s, it'll be really nice.
You can actually get it online.
Online as well. Okay, we're ahead of time.
*389 *777
Okay, please repeat that again.
*389 *777 #.
Okay, that's how you can get your tickets way ahead of time. And then once you get your tickets, you come through, and you can use Google Map to look at the,
Yeah, First Love Church. You can't miss it. You miss the God. Yeah, those who want hard copy tickets, Airport Shell, you can get one over there. Those inspectors can go to Bachelor Total. And then those in Tema can go to Community 11 Shell. They can pick up a ticket. In any way, if you don't get a ticket, you can get one at the gate. I just pray that it won't be too late.
And we don't want even you coming to get it at the gates. Go and get it way ahead of time, and then come. Because when you come to the gate, you should just take your pictures, and then walk in. Take your pictures, and then you walk in.
So it always causes problems when people wait till the end. So sometimes they come in and the tickets are gone, and then they have to stand out, and then it turns into a banter that day we came and you didn't come. And you didn't let us in. So.
Exactly. And then by the time you realize the IBC, I'm sorry now.
Right. Yeah, it turns to something else.
You start blaming you. Blaming you for nothing, really. So please do well and grab your tickets way ahead of time. And let's see you on Sunday, New Wine concert. It's one of the best concerts you can go in the year. And so if you miss it, you're missing it big time. Imagine this, handsome man with good voice and, taking you closer to God. That'll be a journey, man. Well, but you need to grab your ticket. Nathaniel Atto will be there, in his all, what is he wearing? Nat, what are you wearing? Hey, it's been a long I had this question. I think it happens almost every...
what are you wearing?
What are you wearing?
What is this what are you wearing thing? What are you wearing?
What are you
Who are you wearing?
Who are you wearing?
Charlie, but that brings us a good business idea. We're still in Ghana month, and it won't be bad emoji, man of God wearing made in Ghana, you know.
That'd be good.
Man of God right from Ghana, you know. Emoji, Charlie emoji, what about business idea? Yeah. But hey, big ups to Emoji. Emoji has one of the strongest voices you can find.
I'm telling you.
In gospel music in Ghana, the strongest male voices you could find. And the inspiration is big. I keep watching that video over and over again, that one that you just watched. And sometimes when you're looking for a bit of intrinsic fuel to get you out to get going and do what you want to do, this is the man to listen to. So we're all going to be there. Esiedwa will take the second row. And Rosemary, I'll share the sitting arrangement. But make sure to grab your tickets, very, very important. And don't wait till the end.
Never.
You know, I've had some regrets trying to turn up halfway through the show and I did not enjoy. So please, make sure to, you know, get your tickets and let's all go praise God and, you know, rest on him and all the other artists to raise us to the Father, to put all of our burdens before his feet.
Amen.
He's an amazing guy.
Atala is in the spirit.
Charlie. But to have that
hasn't
kind
been
of
in
voice,
it for a long time.
Charlie. My guy. We should let him come and do a bit of radio for us. You know, one of these days.
Yeah. Very powerful voice.
Put some 3 hours
on the radio.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyway, so
what do we have in sports?
Yeah, I know you guys are excited, still very excited about the Black Stars.
Yeah, very well.
Absolutely. Yeah, these two wins. Where were you guys when we played the 5-0? Were you?
No, I was. We're in Kumasi.
You guys were in Kumasi. That was last week.
That must have been crazy because you know Kumasi and the support for Black Stars is something else. I'm sure people close work very early and you know, and you know Fufu is served at 2 a.m.
We have Kumasi. In the long run.
Yeah. And it came as a lot of relief because you know, I'd just like to quickly remind you, we hadn't gotten a full 3-point result or won a game in 7 games. So that win was a heavy breather. Forget about the opposition. I know people talk about how weak the opposition is. Listen, we have been, you know, stumped on and we've been slowed down and stopped in our tracks by smaller opposition before. So now there's no question about small opposition. They played a good game and they have to be given the credit.
That's right.
You know.
Micro minority.
Well. So let's talk about the Black Stars and aspirations towards the FIFA World Cup. Well, Black Star striker Antoine Semenyo has been talking about wanting to score more goals for Ghana and also making sure that he adds to the efforts to eventually qualify for the next FIFA World Cup. We'll take a listen to him. And of course, Antoine Semenyo has been key in delivering these last 2 wins in the ongoing FIFA World Cup qualifiers for the Black Stars. As an individual as well, he's recording his 3rd goal in 25 games. We'll take a listen to him now.
I was one of those fans that was always sad, always upset that Ghana never done well. So I can feel their pain, and I feel like as a team we just need to change those results that have happened in the past and try to get as many wins as we can. Because again, we want to go to the World Cup. When we win, everyone's happy, and we want everyone to be happy. So all we need to do is get some wins.
Going to the World Cup for the 2nd time will be a big deal for you. How important is playing on that stage?
Yeah, it's massive. I think anyone wants to play at the World Cup. Not many players can say they've played at the World Cup. So for us, we have such a good opportunity to qualify now. Yeah, playing on the biggest stage in the world. Everyone loves to watch. Not everyone loves to watch and play in the World Cup. So for us, we've got the opportunity in our hands. So we just need to take it.
In terms of the national team as well, what would be the target for you?
I'd say for now, making sure that we're as high, I've got maximum points as possible, and then hopefully by September, win 1 game, we'll qualify for the World Cup, and then 2026 we can show the world what a team we are, and we can put ourselves on the map again, because that's how we deserve to be. We have one of the best African teams, so I don't know why people are doubting that, but I feel like we just need to show the world what we can do. So the World Cup would be great. We got through. I was one of those fans that was always sad, always upset that Ghana never done well. So I can feel their pain, and I feel like as a team we just need to change those results that have happened in the past and try to get as many wins as we can. Because again, we want to go to the World Cup. When we win, everyone's happy, and we want everyone to be happy. So all we need to do is get some wins.
Going to the World Cup for the 2nd time will be a big deal for you. How important is playing on that stage?
Yeah, it's massive. I think anyone wants to play at the World Cup. Not many players can say they've played at the World Cup, so for us, we have such a good opportunity to qualify now. Yeah, playing.
Well, we'll be doing some more on the Black Stars as we go along, but let's now talk about developments on the domestic football scene, because owner of Elmina Sharks, Dr. Papa Kwesi Indom, who's also a former presidential candidate of the PPP, has been given a 3-month ban from football-related activity here on the domestic scene for what is termed his role in a very big bit of violence at the Shark Stadium in Elmina. He's also been charged an amount, or be fined an amount of 10,000 Ghana cedis because of that conduct. I would bring you some more in the following report.
The wrath of the Ghana Football Association's disciplinary committee following the chaos that marred their match against Radio All Blacks at the Indom Sports Stadium on February 16, 2025. The club has been handed a ban from using their home venue for the remainder of the season after being found guilty of failing to ensure the safety of match officials during their defeat to their rivals. Additionally, the club supporters were found guilty of improper behavior. As part of the sanctions, Elmina Sharks have been fined 20,000 Ghana cedis and warned that any violation of the closed-door sanction will result in a 10-game home match stadium ban. Also, club president Papa Kwesi Indom has been fined 10,000 Ghana cedis and handed a 3-month suspension from all football-related activities for interfering with the match by unlawfully entering the inner perimeter and field of play. Furthermore, player J. Asamoah Kola has been slapped with a 1-year ban from football for attacking the center referee. 5 club officials, including George Redu, Seth Armstrong, Kelvin Abwaje, Joshua Chibaza, and Kingsley Arthur, have also been suspended for the rest of the season and fined 10,000 Ghana cedis each. Elsewhere, Accra Heart of Oak have been also fined 20,000 Ghana cedis, with 10,000 cedis suspended for the remainder of the season after the disciplinary committee found them guilty of compromising matchday security and bringing the game into disrepute. The club allowed unaccredited individuals, specifically supporters, into the safety zone. The incident, which occurred after their victory against Young Apostles at the University of Ghana Stadium, was deemed a breach of the enhanced matchday safety protocols that the club had agreed to enforce to curb hooliganism. Meanwhile, in the latest sanctions related to matchday violence, a Swantriman FC official, Kudus Bashiru, has been handed a 1-year ban for his role in the violence that marred their Premier League fixture in Iswatre on February 2, 2025. Bashiru, who is a former equipment officer of the club, was found guilty of unlawfully entering the inner perimeter and assaulting Kotoko goalkeeper Mohamed Kamara. Consequently, he is now prohibited from participating in any football-related activities for the duration of the ban.
Well, unfortunate scenes there, but it's great to note that the FA's structures are working and the disciplinary structure is also biting and working. And this sends some very good optics in terms of who wants to get things cleaned up and how we want to get things cleaned up. It's hoped that these sanctions will send an even bigger message to the greater community of football here in Ghana. Talk about football and community. There's a club called Janina Ladies. Now, they have been warming the hearts of the community within which they are and are drawing some very, very good numbers to watch them. Well, Joy Sports women's football lead, Lawrence Beidou, has been spending some time in the community and assessing the impact of Janina Ladies as they build this very special bond and this relationship with the fans in the area.
Heart of Antiku, a modest community in Accra, a new football revolution is unfolding, one driven by passion, unity, and an unyielding love for the game. This is the story of Janina Ladies, a club just 2 years into their top flight journey, but already winning hearts and challenging for glory. Having secured promotion into the Walter Guinness Women's Premier League at the end of the 2022-23 season, Janina Ladies wasted no time making their presence felt. Their first season was about survival, avoiding relegation, but today they are contenders, locked in a fierce battle with giants Hazakes Ladies and Police Ladies for the Southern Zone crown. On match days, time stands still in Antieku. Drivers park, mechanics drop their tools, traders pause. All eyes turn to the park, where their daughters, sisters, and friends become warriors for 90 minutes.
Today is literally my first time watching a game here, like a ladies game here. And to be very honest, the environment was a bit encouraging. And normally we all think nobody's interested in ladies ball, but having seen the environment here, the numbers shocked me. I was even discussing with the guys I was sitting with that, Charlie, ladies games where guys come like that. And I was like, this is what happens here always. Even the ladies who play here get more support than even the guys. And I think it's a good thing that I would like most of the clubs, I recommend that most of the clubs try to merge more with the community to moving forward, this thing happens more.
We out of 100%, bare 95% of supporters are who say follow Jonina. Yen football no die ye need die chire ankasa because ye member no more has say no mun to me my ni but my die de bia mo ma ni gie enti Martin we die wo mo has say ni nyina both women away ye follow mo ekoba bia
community ankasa no ye shede ni team papa bia ewa ha enti omo ba no de e wo kroma say de at least yan so ambra na fa ya ho de ma de emebo embo support wo mo no mutumi win. Yeah,
the journey started all the way from Division 1, and I can tell you categorically that during that very period we play about 16 matches unbeaten. So the girls, they gathered the crowd during that very period, and ever since then that we qualified to Premier, they've been very, very supportive on match days. I think at Antieku we have one of the best fans so far in Women Premier League. These fans and supporters that you saw here today, they have their group. They've created a group where they support the girls financially, morally. Are you getting it? When it comes to the game, they've been giving them an incredible support. Even we, the management as well, we really appreciate what they have been doing.
But their magic isn't only on the pitch. Jonina's match day activations, from music to giveaways, have turned games into celebrations. Other clubs are beginning to take notes.
You need to involve the community. The community must own the club, own in terms of feel that they are part of it. You can organize activities around the club, around players. Do so with the community. So I think going forward, clubs must actually bring on board the community. Get them involved not only in the football, but in some festive activities, festivals of maybe sports and community before the start of the league. And of course, the domestic league committee has actually laid down a number of plans to create some action, some activities around our league matches, and even before the league starts. So I think it is important that we bring on board the community, because once they own the team or the club, you see that they would feel compassion. They will feel that it's important for them to support them on the field of play.
With just 3 games left, Jonina Ladies sit third on the Southern Zone log, 6 points behind league leaders Hazakes Ladies.
I think it comes with the development of the girls and then the performances. With the stigma around women's football, normally people have a different perception when it comes to women's football compared to the men's football. So when the crowd comes and then they see the way the girls play and they see that, no, it is not far from the men. I think that is also one factor that allows the people to come, because now it's become something that brings so much joy for them to watch. So I think the performance of the girls and then the way they play, it's a major factor. Yes.
The dream of a league title is still alive, and so is the community's heartbeat.
Based on our performance in the first round, I think we have done well. This is our second year in Women Premier League, And right now, I think we are among the top 4. So we are doing well, and I believe we can do better in the second round.
Because, you know, like I'm saying, these girls have been lacking support from in time memorial. So at least when they see this kind of crowd, it gives them some kind of motivation to tell them that there is some light at the end of the tunnel and they're doing a good job. So I think it's a good thing for them. It's a good motivation. It's something that will help them going forward, because then at least they know they are not alone. I think the community is also around to support them. So, I mean, they give extra performance.
They may be young, but Jodina Ladies are more than just a football club. They are the beating hearts of a people's hope, passion, and belief in the power of women's football. Lawrence Baidu for Joy Sports.
Well, an excellent piece put together by Lawrence Baidu, and expect some more from Jodina Ladies, because the kinds of numbers they draw are amazing. And of course, provide a very big foundation for brands to come on board because they've got the visibility. Well, we'll talk about all of those things another time. But right now, let's throw the focus on tennis, because Alexander Zverev has been, surprised out of the Miami Open. And Arthur Fils is very, very, responsible for that, and this is a 4th round exit from there. Updating you as we go along on the Miami Open. Well, let's tell you about something very, very exciting that's coming up here in the capital city, Accra. Our friends from Guinness Ghana Breweries Limited are about to give us something good to look forward to, and that is Accravaganza. Yes, Accravaganza is coming up, and GGBL will be telling us everything to look forward to. You know, there have been 4 editions so far. Well, we're going into the 5th edition, and it will be explosive. You stay with us as we bring you this must-listen-to conversation here on Prime Morning. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Prime Morning. There's a lot to look forward to, like I told you. And Wilma Mosai is the marketing manager. She's a marketing manager at Guinness Ghana Breweries Limited, brands manager, beg your pardon. I'm very excited, so it happens like that. So we're going to talk about Accravaganza, put together by GGBL. And, we've had 4 editions so far. It was explosive, so now we're looking forward to what will happen this time around. Wilma, good to see you. You look lovely.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well. 4 editions of Accravaganza.
Yes.
First of all, tell me, your own assessment of how it all went, the first 4 editions.
It's been an absolute dream, if I'm being honest. It's been quite exciting. Guinness has always championed the arts. We've always championed the creatives. And to see this come to life as giving the platforms to young creatives to show us what they are made of, to make their black shine brightest has been amazing, and we're looking forward to doing some more of that. Well. So I was just trying to throw back to being a very big member of the Guinness family, hosting the Guinness Football Challenge, and I was just reminded that it was a long time ago, 2011, 2012, 2013. I know someone in the production studio who was very, very young at the time. Anyway, so you've done 4 editions. It's been very successful. I guess that is a very big factor, the reason why we're going on to the next one. Yes, absolutely. And not just that, this edition is called the Smooth Edition.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's also the official consumer launch of our newest edition, Guinness Smooth. And we want our consumers, people who are coming to have a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So it's going to be quite elevated, quite unique, quite different.
Amazing stuff. I just knew why I talked about the T-shirt. So let's talk about the artist and what will be on the lineup on the day, and then the date and the venue as well.
Yeah. So, we have the likes of Alo G, Lali and Lola, Joey.
Hey, B. Lali and Lola, the amazing twins.
The amazing twins, Lali and Lola, Joey B, Lamem Gang. And, of course, we have the reigning TGMA Artist of the Year, Stone Boy, headlining it. So wow.
Stone Boy. Amazing stuff. Interesting indeed. Look, also tell me, how people can be part of this, how people can, attend, be a part of it?
The Guinness Extravaganza tickets go for 200 cedis.
Okay.
Go to www.extravaganza.com, copy yourself a ticket. The event is happening on the 29th of March, Saturday, 29th of March, at Good Park, Accra Mall. It's an all-day event into the night. Starts from 12 p.m. till late. So during the daytime, we have some awesome activities like skating, paint and sip, some art installations. We have a lot of games. And, with Guinness comes a lot of giveaways and a lot of prizes. So that's something that no one should miss.
Oh my goodness. So Good Park now has become the place. I mean, if you haven't been to Good Park behind the Accra Mall before, this is the time, and Extravaganza is happening there. The atmosphere is going to be very, very colorful. I'm just throwing back to last year and last 2 years and how, it lit up the whole capital. It lit up the whole capital in the sense that we had so many people come by, and it was just,
It was
amazing.
Yes,
amazing.
I really hope to see you there.
Oh yeah. What time should I get there?
I mean, so if you're looking for, in fact, get there at 12.
Midday.
Come at 12. Don't miss the excitement. So come at 12. Leave after 12. The other 12.
Come after 12 and leave after the other 12. You know what the deal is. It will be very, very exciting. Look at the list of artists who are on the bill, headlined by the legendary Stone Boy. Stone Boy is the man of the moment, and he is Ghana's biggest international act at the moment as well. Ghana to the rest of the world. So, hey, it will be good to see all of the artists. Lali and Lola, I'm just trying to figure out what kind of costume they're going to come there in. They have red hair now.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to have, a bit of brown. Anyway, amazing stuff. So, also tell me something about the kind of feedback you've received from all those who've patronized Extravaganza so far.
People can't wait for the next edition, if I do say so myself, because every edition comes with its own unique experiences, and we elevate the experience edition after edition. And this edition being the launch of the Guinness Smooth, which is a beer that we have made specifically for the youth and to be co-owned by the youth. It is good. Honestly, I don't want to give much away. I really don't. But I'm sure you can feel the excitement. It's really going to be phenomenal. Yeah.
Well, amazing stuff there. So there it is. Some images from, back then and when it happened. It's actually around the same area, and we're keeping the vibe there. We're keeping, the image of Extravaganza right there in that area. And so it's going to be amazing. This is for the youth. This is for us. This is Accra to the rest of the world. So if you have any friends who are visiting town anytime this weekend, just tell them that something big is happening. 12 to the next 12. But tell me again about the tickets, because I'm already getting messages here about tickets. Tell me some more again about the tickets so that we're very clear.
So you visit our www.extravaganza.com, and that's where you purchase your tickets. However, on Extravaganza GH social media pages and Guinness Africa pages, we occasionally will run discounts and giveaways, so stay tuned, follow the news, and you just might cop for yourself and your friends some free tickets.
Oh, exactly, yeah. So that's what we're talking about. Tomorrow on Prime Morning, we will make sure that some of you get free tickets. The reason why we're already looking forward to tomorrow's show. So, deal done. Remember, we will give you free tickets tomorrow. We'll determine what time we bring it to you. So, I was born on a Friday, so every time we do special things on Fridays right here on the show. So, catch you all, get on the website, purchase your tickets, tell your friends about it. Very, very important, especially those whose flights are landing tonight. Tell them that something is happening at the Good Park. It's Extravaganza, the Guinness Extravaganza. It's going to be exciting. Okay, 2-in-1 Extravaganza and the launch of Guinness Smooth. Wow, amazing stuff. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And I'm looking forward to seeing you. We'll take some pictures and all of that. And you know what I love about that video from last year? The grills, the grills.
You're definitely a Guinness man because you love the girls.
Yeah, and tomorrow as well, as we're giving away the prizes, I'll put some throwback pictures of me. You know today is Throwback Thursday, so we'll switch it to Friday. I'll put some pictures on the page from my days on the Guinness Football Challenge. It's the biggest television football game show ever to have been done here in this country. It's not because it's me. All right, show continues. More to come here on Prime Morning, and we look forward to Guinness Extravaganza.
It's still Prime Morning, and we hope that you are getting ready to also get your tickets and attend Extravaganza that will be happening over the weekend. But let's move away from that and let's talk about something very interesting. It's time for Let's Talk Relationship. Today we are going to get into cultural backgrounds. My guests are beautifully seated. But before we get into that, today we are being benevolent again because yesterday we were benevolent. We asked you to call in and sing a patriotic song in whatever local language that you're comfortable with. But if you are a lover of fortune spread, yes, fortune spread and fortune margarine, well, you'll get the chance to win some amazing prizes from them. All you have to do is to call the number that we're about to put it on the screen pretty shortly. Call, and then you just answer a few questions. When you get it correct, you could win some amazing prizes from Fortune Spread and Fortune Margarine. So we are just waiting you to call in, and then I've got the questions here. Very, very easy questions. Very easy questions, and then you answer and you can win some prizes. So whilst we wait for you to call in, let's get right into our topic for discussion today, and we are getting into cultural backgrounds. How does that influence our relationships? How does that influence our decisions in relationships, in getting married? Early on in the introduction, I did say that if you've had an experience one way or the other that you had to leave somebody just because of his or her cultural background, you can share that with us on our social media platforms. My guests are seated, like I said earlier, Reverend Dr. Nanaya Prempeh. She's the founder of Authority Bible Church. Hi, Rev. I love the braid.
Oh, thank you.
You look good.
Thank you. I'm flexing.
Hi. Hope you're well. How is everything?
I'm doing super well by the grace of God.
Thank God.
Amidst all the sorrows, my condolences again, my beautiful daughter.
Thank you.
I know that God will take you through.
Yes.
Okay, so
yes.
be strong.
Yes. God is really taking.
It's good to have you back.
Thank you. Good to see you again, Rev. And seated to the right, we have Reverend Daniel Annan. Hi, Rev.
Good. And you?
I'm doing good.
My condolences too.
Thank you.
You even look good in black.
Yes, surprisingly. Surprisingly. And I've had to, do a no makeup I've been on a no makeup journey since the passing. So no makeup, no jewelry. So even when I'm on TV, no makeup, no jewelry.
You should actually be in duku tuntum.
Yeah. So I've been doing the duku.
We are talking about culture.
Yes, we are talking about culture. That's
and you don't get to do baby hair.
Yeah. Well, right after here, I'll go. My duku is in my bag, by the way. See, my point, and then, tradition continues. Anyway, so let's talk about cultural backgrounds and how that influences our decisions in marriages and relationships. And so, viewers, we are waiting your comments on our social media platforms. On Facebook, it is Joy Prime TV, or you can get our WhatsApp number 055-157-5757. I want to start with Reverend Nanaya.
Yes.
Let's get into cultural backgrounds.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me and my big brother. Oh, your big brother.
Small brother.
Your big brother. Yes, and good morning to all the viewers of Joy Prime across the globe. And so culture and cultural backgrounds, definitely, everyone comes from somewhere.
Yes.
Abraham was asked to leave his father's household. So he had a family that he had to leave. and cleave to his wife. So wherever his wife also comes from, she also has her background. So coming into a relationship without your family does not mean that you don't have a background. You know, there are people having lived in the U.S. for many years, I see people in the U.S. who pretend that they don't even know how to speak the local language. They have forgotten. But you see, you can take your culture out of you when you are somewhere, but the culture will still be in you.
Yeah.
One way or the other, when something happens to you, you'll be looking for your roots.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And so we can westernize ourselves as much as we want. And we can pretend as much as we want. I know people who don't want to associate themselves with Ghanaians when they are living abroad.
Yes.
Some of them do that because of experiences they have had. Others do that because they are seeing themselves as oh, okay, I don't belong anymore. But if you come to the nitty-gritty, even Jesus Christ believes in the roots. When his parents were traveling with him at the age of 12 years, and they got to their destination, they are looking for their son, not knowing he has been left behind with his roots, with the culture, the people, the indigents. So for me, when you get into a relationship, that is even an opportunity for you to transfer your knowledge of your culture to your spouse who doesn't know your culture. You know, especially, let's say you're a Krobo woman, you marry an Aigbe man. You don't just all of a sudden, you all start speaking English in the house. So your Krobo is getting lost, his Aigbe is getting lost, and the two of you have westernized in the home. But I believe that culture should make the relationship richer. One day, let your husband teach you how to make the fatiridechi. You understand? And you too, you teach your husband how to make the garifoto, you know, the Krobo way. So culture and the cultural roots must enrich relationships rather than separating and making it more distant, where you think that now you are in a relationship with a very rich man, and so you don't want him to even know the poverty that you came out of. I mean, we see these things in movies, but they are real.
They are real.
You come from a background where you know, excuse me to say, you guys have to go and squat somewhere to do the number 2. But because now you are getting married to somebody from a wealthy environment, you are losing your cultural background because you don't want to belong. You feel now you are despising your behind. You understand? But I believe that you should rather bring the wealth there, bring the glory there, bring the honor there, and transform. You know, there are some things in culture that we as Christians, we think they are demonic. You know, Christianity, some Christians demonize culture. I'm not one of those. I believe and I love culture. Actually, I am a very good cultural dancer.
Ooh.
Okay. I used to actually teach cultural dance in the U.S. When I went there first, I was teaching those who had their children there and they don't know how to do the adowa, the agbaja, the palogo. I was teaching them. So I think the cultural background should rather enrich our relationships rather than distancing us. So it's a benefit. It's a plus.
It should be a plus.
It's a plus.
Okay. Yeah. Reverend Daniel, oftentimes growing up, we hear all sorts of stories where, you know, you have a grandmother or a mother or a father tell you that, this tribe is like this tribe is like that. What exactly can we do to put ourselves in a situation where maybe we'll try and change the narrative?
Thank you very much, and thank you to your viewers. We are, first of all, the background where we come from, the environment that we live in, the choices and decisions that we make, and the people we associate ourselves with. each one of us, where you come from, your hometown, the background, where you stay, maybe the environment that you stay in, where people, maybe for instance, when somebody is staying at East Legon and somebody is staying at maybe Kanda, the differences will be this. Even Kanda and Nima. You know, Kanda and Nima is separated by only a road.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the economic backgrounds are different.
Yes.
It's only separated by a road.
Yeah.
So we are a product of our background, the environment we live in, the people that we surround ourselves with, and the decisions and the choices we make. So quite often, where culture comes in is when people begin to have maybe a bad history.
That's the issue.
Yes, that's where the crush of the matter is.
Yeah.
Now, when maybe some generations back, somebody had a history, and the asantini dear, and you can't say one and to a hey. To any baby, I wear your baby out. Them say, "More quiet, man, found any be a mafia." Yeah, catching this. But we have Aunaga and Loga in Ashanti.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I was born, bred, buttered, sugared, married, everything Kumasi.
Really?
Yes.
Hey.
I was born in Kwadaso Estate.
Oh, okay.
I stayed in Patasi Estate.
Okay.
So, born, bred, and we have our houses in Kumasi. So, quite often I go to Kumasi.
Yeah.
So, I'm very close to Santasi.
Oh, okay.
From Santasi, then you are going to Santasi.
Yeah.
Pass through the
roundabout.
Not even I won't pass through roundabout. I'll pass through Opokwai, that back there, then off.
Atasamanso area.
Atasamanso. Christian Village.
Okay.
Christian University.
Okay.
I'm getting to Patasi.
Right.
So that is it. My father is a Ga. He married a Fanti woman. And we stayed in Kumasi. So, and I got married to an Ashanti woman. So you can look at the diverse. But you see, we should not generalize a past history into our current dispensation and make an assertion that that is how the people are. Quite often, we just want to use one isolated case to generalize it. People are different, and culture is diverse, but you can make it beautiful. Quite often, what happens is that your culture helps you to form values. So there are certain values that goes with a certain tribe or a certain people group. It also determines your choices. And these choices have culminated in the songs that we sing. Okwantintin aware menko.
Yeah.
Nti okwa ware okwantintin aware. Se menyame kodu nasem smechi ameye de mate. So we are encouraged to marry close. Within.
Yeah.
And sometimes, even within, we have certain clans. Aduanani, wari aduanani.
Yeah.
For Sumeja, for instance, they are aduanafo.
Yeah. That's actually.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Ebio.
Efrimesha.
Sumeja. Aduana. Go and check.
And then I have to go and
a little
bit more because
they and Doma are supposed to be, I think, the custodians of Edianas too. Okay. That's why when you are going to Sumeja, you see Kama Ejashirano.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Can it be a SHE? So even some of them, they tell you that because maybe some time ago or a historical antecedent or maybe some war or maybe some dispute, something happened. But one thing that we need to understand to deal with this issue is that people are different. So don't generalize the history into our present. History is only a guide. Anybody who lives in his past lives in bondage.
Okay.
We live in our present and we make decisions for our future. What we need to be guided by is that the quality of the person I am marrying. You are not marrying all Asantis. You are marrying one person. For instance, you are marrying Mr. Opoku. So it's Bisopoku you are dealing with, not assent for. You are well married Agbanyaga, not for.
Right, but there's the belief that, you see, character is taught, you know. Your parents, whatever your parents have taught you from childhood, they also learn this from their parents, and then it goes like that, and like that. So it's like you end up. Let me narrate this story to you. So one of my mother's friends' sister got married to a fancy man. Uncle Sana Fantini Bermano, on your papa. He was a liar. He had hidden some of his, you know, a whole lot of things.
Where does he come from?
I don't know exactly where.
No. The woman, where does he come from?
She's a fancy.
She married to a fancy man.
Yes.
And it didn't work.
Yes. Ended up marrying another fancy man. So she got married, she got remarried about 3 or 4 times, all fancy men. And so it became a conclusion that fancy men ain't papa to her.
Yeah. So it will affect her children.
Exactly.
Definitely,
and that is what she's going to teach her children, because she's got daughters too. So she's going to end up telling her daughters that Fantini Bema dear.
Okay, this is very simple. The person you married, was he a good person? What was the due diligence? You see, people will be people, and people will always be who they are. So that's why we are saying that if you are married, check the person you are marrying. Can he be trusted? Is the person wise enough? Is the person wise enough? Don't marry a fool.
Don't marry a fool.
Yes. I mean, just imagine. Abigail got married to a fool.
Yeah.
And look at what happened.
Yeah.
2, marry a man who you can trust. 3, marry a man who is a leader. He knows where he is taking the family. 4, marry a man who who has that security. You have security around him. That your interest is protected. Your home is protected. Your emotions are safe. So with that man around you, you can sleep. So you marry a quality of a person, not a stripe. But if the person tends to make decisions based on where he's coming from, then excuse me to say, there's a problem.
Okay, so Reverend, I want you to hold on to that thought. Reverend, and I'll come to you shortly. So viewers, if you remember yesterday, we allowed you to call in or join us on Zoom and sing a patriotic song. And so we are going to open the Zoom for you to join in again today, so you can win some amazing prizes from Safari Eco Park, from Fortune Spread, and then also from Level 2 Feminine Wash. So please, the Zoom ID and password is currently on your screens. Pick it up and then join us, sing a patriotic song. We are still in Ghana month. We are still celebrating everything Ghana. And so please call in. We are still talking about cultural backgrounds in relationship, how that influences our decisions and all of that. And so, Reverend Anaya,
how many patriotic songs do we have in Ghana?
Oh, you know, it's just a few, but they are in different languages. Yesterday, we had some singing in Ga, some singing in Ewe, some singing in Chi. Yes, yeah. So whichever language, local language that you're comfortable with.
It's a war song.
It's a patriotic song. No, it's not a war song. No. It's not.
It's a war crowd. You have to be patriotic too.
Okay. So Reverend Daniel Annan has opened it up for you. So get ready to join us on Zoom. Let's go back to our conversations. Reverend Anaya, you will hear often that people say that when you are marrying somebody, you're not just marrying the individual, you are marrying the entire family as well. So whatever culture, whatever tribe he or she is coming from, I know that Reverend Daniel has mentioned that, you know, you're looking at the individual, you're looking at the persona, as this person like this, the character and everything. But then that's saying that you're marrying an entire family. How does that influence your decision as well?
Well, definitely. I have said it here before that when you're going into a marriage relationship, there are some relationships that, there are some men who can walk to you and tell you, I just want to marry you. They don't have time for games.
Yeah.
There are situations that are getting very frequent lately, you know, because I think that they see that their time, their biological clock
is ticking.
So now they finish playing all the Premier Leagues and the European leagues and the whatever leagues. They are done. Now they have come to GPL, the Ghana Premier League. That one, so they have to settle down before they are kicked out of the league. So they come and they say, I want to marry you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that one, when they come, they don't have time, you know, to do all the necessaries. And some of them don't even go for counseling, which I think is a huge mistake. Even if you're counseling, you got it for 3 months. Trust me, it will make all the difference in their marriage.
Right.
So when they come like that and the biological clock has ticked and they are running out of space and out of time, whatever is in skirt, they will take. But when it happens like that, it makes it difficult for the necessary background and cultural and previous relationship checks and all those things. So they are just ready for anything. But you see, when the person takes their time and consults with parents, listen, our parents are wise. Whether you like it or not, your parents are wiser than you.
Okay.
And they have more experience. I mean, if you want to go to school, don't you think your teacher has more experience than you? You understand? Of course, I know that when you study well, you can become a better teacher than your teacher. But when you are not there yet, you must go through tutorials.
Yeah.
And so marriage is something that, of course, your mother or your father or an uncle or an auntie has been in before. So definitely, the route that you're going, somebody has been. So it's better to get consultation. And if you decide to really enjoy your marriage, allow them to bring their opinion and their counsel. And you can engage them. Mommy, I'm sure you know about this family. Can you find out something about them for me? You know, that is an assignment that parents will be happy to do. And it makes them part of the relationship.
Part of it, yeah.
You understand? But I've said it here before that when you go and marry a man whose mother says, Otilo, take your bag and run.
Leave.
Take your bag and run. Whatever that woman would do, even when you are married for 20 years, to get her son back, she would do it.
Wow.
When it comes to the man, when a man says, the father says, I don't want you to marry my son. As for the fathers, they are more understanding. Do you understand? Because he's a man, he can provide for himself. But the mothers think their son must take care of them and their siblings of our sake. So if the man is leaving, it means now he's going to take care of his wife and her family.
Yeah.
So she is fighting for her daughters, the man's sisters, and their children, forgetting that those children also have fathers. So it is a major problem. And the mothers who step in and say, don't marry I won't let you marry my son. Maybe 5% of them, you can convince the women. You can get them to understand, you can get them to come around. I mean, others, it doesn't matter if you cut your head and put it on the plates and give it to them.
It was nothing, yeah.
Because right from the onset, her motive is to fetch for her daughters and herself. So now that another woman is coming, and when she sizes the woman and say, this woman will be expensive.
Yeah,
my son will be. So her son's money will go to her wife. And would you expect to enjoy the man's money?
Yeah.
Who is servicing the man here, there, everywhere? Who is doing that? So I mean, it's neither here nor there. And you see, and they will fight you. So for me, my advice is that make God the center of your marriage. God. Okay. God. Okay. And when God is in the center of your marriage, you will marry. You will marry and it will be beautiful. Yeah. But you need to every day work on this, your mother-in-law. But remember, you are not going into marriage to be a prayer warrior. You are not going into a marriage to endure the marriage. You are going into the marriage to enjoy the marriage. But if you have a situation like that and you haven't committed yourself, please. It's not too late. It's not too late. Don't be a victim where you go and sit down waiting for the groom's parents at the wedding or the engagement and they don't show up. My goodness. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I don't want you to go through that because they can do it and it will pain you. Meanwhile, the man loves you. If you leave him, he will die. He will get broken heart. He will get heart attack. But the parents don't know. And the man has not been able to come to the point of convincing his parents. See, some of these things, the man should do it. If you truly love me, talk to your parents. I shouldn't even be the one trying to convince them. Yeah. The man should do it. So, like Asafu was saying, if you are marrying a man, you must marry an assertive man. Yeah. A man who will fight for you. A man who is a leader. Yeah. A man who is able to give you security, protect you, provide. But it doesn't mean that the woman cannot help. I mean, I take pride in helping my husband in keeping some of these things. Yeah. You know. So the marriage without the family is a big no. And you must know that when you are going into the marriage, you are going with your entourage. My husband, when I have something in my house, his family is a big family. When my mother passed, let me say hi to the Cheche family from Kwando. Malolo. So when they came in a bus. And because the right thing was done right from the beginning. Yeah. We are not hiding in corners and doing lovey-lovey. There is family head, there are parents, there are siblings, there are cousins, there are extended cousins. They all must be aware of the relationship. That's true. Reverend, and I want you to hold that. So we have our first caller joining us on Zoom. Margaret, Yakubu, I think Margaret, that was your name. You've gone off. If you're listening to me right now, if you're watching right now, please come back on Zoom and join us and sing the patriotic song. Okay, so Margaret is back. Hi, Margaret. Oh, can you please turn on mute? Just on mute for me, so we can hear you.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, hi.
Good morning.
Good morning, Margaret. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you too?
We are doing awesome. Okay, so which patriotic song would you sing for us this morning?
Okay,
let's go. Let's go.
Bully.
Okay.
From Sandma.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Musa.
Okay.
All right.
So this is how it goes. Tenka de tade tenka te komada le sado wajenle makado delaini kwa fe kama ateti yeiti lemie na cheri wulu ateti yeiti delaini kwa fe kama ateti yeiti lemie na cheri wulu yo atomchi mamsa Nimena cherry wulio, apati tangi. Timena cherry wulio, atonchi mansa. Timena cherry wulio, abas tell you.
Margaret, that was really beautiful. See, you are getting a round of applause from everyone in the studio. Please do not go off, okay? We're going to take your details because you get to win some prizes for yourself this morning. That was really beautiful, Margaret. Thank you so much. Or you can send your name and your phone number to our WhatsApp number 055-157-5757. Margaret, did you get that? Did you catch that? Okay, so please send your phone number and your full name
to our WhatsApp number 055-157-5757. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks so much.
You watching at home could also be a winner of amazing prizes that Fortune Spread, Safari Eco Park, and 11-2 Feminine Wash have for you. So please join us on Zoom and sing a patriotic song. Reverend Dan.
Amazing.
Amazing.
It's amazing. I've been there before.
This is the cultural thing that we're talking about.
Exactly.
They are hard workers.
Oh, okay.
Eesh. The Garis, the Bulses, these are Bulses. Sandema, beyond, Pumbisi. I've been to all those places.
Okay.
And they're amazing people. They are, when you are contracting marriage from that place, you don't pay much.
You don't pay much.
I think it's only a cutlass.
A cutlass?
Yeah, you don't pay much. When the woman gives birth, then you go and perform something small.
Is that simple?
Oh, yeah. You check the buses. Simple, so simple.
Are you sure it hasn't changed with the new technology?
Oh, you see, no, they don't change much. Because one of my sons got married to a lady from Sandema.
Okay.
So I asked, I said, I said, I knew you. I think I said, I said, whoa. So, Obano, then they'll come and, I think, do something very small.
The men are listening.
The men are listening.
Yeah, men are listening.
Hey!
Culture is diverse.
Yes.
But it's so beautiful.
Yes.
But one thing about us as a people is that let us respect people. I should respect you as a Fanti man or a Gama or an Ewe man.
Yeah.
If we respect people, we will not downplay them from where they are. For instance, when you go on missions in the north, there are some people, they will march to Zafi, that has been an overnight to Zafi, and mix it with water and give it to you to drink.
Cocoa.
Yes. They are testing you whether you accept them or you reject them.
Hey. So you drink it as porridge?
You see, this is how it is. When you go, no, it's intentional.
Okay.
Because do you accept us who we are or you reject it? Your expression will determine whether you accept the people. There are certain things somebody will give it to you. You may not necessarily drink it, but thank you so much. The way you handle it.
Just, the way you will accept it, right.
Because somebody can go like, ew.
Then they will notice that, that's how you are. So let's respect people. Yeah. When you have a situation like this, that there's that friction between the tribe that you are getting into, please be patient. Pray through.
Yeah.
Opanyin Kodutra is a perfect example. Why she married I think she married an Nzema. Call his man in Ade. They rejected, but through prayer and through consultation, through conviction. You see, you, the man, the way you speak to your parents, Daddy, when you say, say this, but what I'm pessimist, I need your blessings.
Yeah.
Talk to them kindly, talk to them nicely, understand them. Don't, and just had been, maybe before I come home. Don't. Take your time, convince them, speak to them, respect them, respect their opinion. Allow space, allow time. Pray through. They'll come to a time. They may say,
we have another person joining us on Zoom. Hi, Kay. Good morning to you. Kay, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please unmute.
He's watching the TV.
Hello, Kay.
Hello.
Hi, yes, good morning. I can hear you now. How are you?
Okay. I'm very well.
Okay, great. Okay, so which of the patriotic songs will you be singing?
I'll be singing the
Yoruba.
Okay, so meaning in English.
English.
Okay, please go ahead.
He's watching.
Yes, go ahead.
Can I start?
Yes, please start.
Okay. God bless our homeland.
Thank you.
and make our nation great and strong, both to defend forever the cause of freedom and of right. Fill our hearts with true humility, make us cherish fearless honesty, and help us to resist oppression with all our love and might forevermore. Help us to resist oppression with all our love and might forevermore.
That was really beautiful. That was really good. Kay, thank you so much. So please, you also should send your details, your full name and your phone number to our WhatsApp number, okay?
Okay,
yes.
Thank you very much.
Please send it to our WhatsApp number and you'll hear from us about your package. Thank you.
I do know that we have stanza 2 or the second verse or third verse.
I know there will be any more. I'm saying about three stanzas or so. The national anthem. We only know one.
I had a choir sing it for
yeah.
time. Yeah. They don't teach us at the school.
They don't teach us. So we only know stanza, the first one. And yeah, second one in the Reverend Anaya.
Yes.
Let's get into, if you know somebody approaches you, he's highly interested in you, she's interested in you as well, and all of that. But then you know that your parents do not like it. It's not even about you per se, but the problem is your parents. They do not agree with a certain tribe. What do you do?
So in that case, I believe that you need to get some explanation from your parents.
The reasons, okay.
Because, like I said, your parents are wiser than you.
Yes.
There may be an instance where there had been, in the past, generations past, a curse from one family to the other, you know, some deal that went bad that caused somebody's life. Or maybe one of your parents were married to that tribe, just like you said.
Yeah.
With your auntie, and the tribe disrespected them. So when there is disrespect, it makes it difficult for anyone to agree to bring their child back to that family or that tribe.
Yeah, that's true.
But you see, there are a lot of ignorant people walking around this world. Ignorance is a disease.
Again.
You see, and because you don't get to know and understand for yourself, and because your sister went to marry from someone from Sandema and it didn't go well, so the whole family is saying that, you see, but we have different people. You cannot throw your child away with the water when, you know. So you need to give every situation reason. You need to take your time. And of course, I believe that when you're a Christian, you are consulting with God.
Yes. Yeah.
You understand? And you never know where your love will come from. But my husband is Aigbe. And, hey, Asante ni ba sewo, mapa, na na ya. Ogo fa ya Aigbe ni be ma. So no ma me nije. I don't know, he makes breakfast for me in bed. Enti mpa mu cho bebre. Do lame.
And I don't know.
Na me so me di me lame.
Simple.
O dia fa wa Asante ni be ma. Nya ni tri ai pedwe no. O dia fa ne sa.
Ai, me fa me Aigbe.
Me fa ma Aigbe ni sa. Me found do for no mo do me no. Me fa mo sa. So it is not about tribe. I've told my two daughters, if you bring me someone from Hong Kong, from Vietnam, from Italy, from Ireland, from Bogatanga, anywhere, green man, yellow man, white man, me, Nanaya, if that is what you want, he will make you happy, he will take care of you, he fears God, I'll bless your marriage for you.
All right, so we have another person joining us on Zoom. You came with the Zoom ID in Phoenix 08. Hi, good morning. In Phoenix 08. It looks like, I don't know if you're a teacher. We see you, so... So if you can hear us, please. Please unmute and let's hear your voice. Infinix 08. All right. Hi. Good morning. Please unmute.
Good morning.
Hi. What's your name, please?
I'm Mary.
Okay, hi, Mary.
Calling from where?
Please sing a patriotic song for me. I would love if you would not sing in English, by the way. So which patriotic song would it be? Oh, you were going to do English?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay, it's fine. Because, because it's Ghana month, we wanted to encourage more of the local dialects, but it's okay. Feel free. Sing, and let's see if you're going to remember all the lyrics.
Okay. Okay, I Ghana you for your country. The nation demand your devotion.
Right.
Let us all unite to uphold and make it great and strong. We are all involved.
We are all involved.
We are all involved in building a mandala.
Yeah! Mary, that was really beautiful. You took a number of people to their primary school days where they used to march with that song. Anybody who did not march, hello. Hi to you all in the background. Hello to everybody in there.
Looks like a family gathering.
Mary, you did so well. So please don't forget to drop your full name and your phone number to our WhatsApp number, okay? Send it to us because you've won some prizes from our sponsors. Thank you, Mary. Thank you. So you at home could also be another, you could also be a winner. I think we have another Zoomer, Salifu. We have Salifu joining us. Okay, hi Salifu, we can see you. Please unmute.
Hey, now Kakra.
It seems Salifu is now setting up his camera. Please unmute so we can hear you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is I'm reading you from Tamale.
Nice. So I believe you're going to give us some local dialects patriotic song.
So
Let's
I want to sing the Dagbani version of our national anthem.
Okay, wow. Great. Let's go.
Wow.
Let's go. I can go ahead.
Yes, please go ahead.
All right. Tungbang yala tiba tungbang tiyanum da malaka kani tipang timanga cheka de yulidu da shalizo timalkan en songti kati mai tiba tungbang na unung ti ko katin tum ka che shalla abang palang bakana nti tum ka che shalle. So comes a pang ye, ko tum da dun jaliko. So comes a pang ye, ko tum di dun jaliko. So comes a pang ye, ko tum da dun jaliko. So comes a pang ye, ko tum da dun jaliko. Thank you.
Sorry for you. Everybody excited this morning with that. Thank you so much. That was really beautiful.
I was hearing Jericho.
Salifu, thank you. So you should also send your full name and your phone number to the WhatsApp number you are seeing on your screen now. Okay, Salifu? Please, I hope you heard that. Yeah, you got that, right? Just give me a thumbs up so I know that you heard it. Just a thumbs up. Okay. All right, Salifu. So please send your full name and your phone number to our WhatsApp number 055-157-5757. Okay, so
there is something maybe one day we will need to look at, marrying from rich and the poor.
Ooh.
How do we bridge the gap? Sometimes
it's one of the biggest
challenge.
Yeah.
The rich wants to keep the rich.
The rich, yeah.
The poor
aspire to be.
Don't,
no, there's some the poor they aspire to be.
They're aspiring to be, but they fear.
There's lack of confidence.
No, I did say, by you. I don't know what you have you heard that before?
Especially the sisters of the man.
Thank you. This statement, oh, Bano.
That's true. Hi.
Scary, oh.
So, you see, life, we can make life beautiful. Let us make it a melting pot. That irrespective of where the person is coming from, we can bring the compounds together, melt it, and have a one common compound. And it will be good for us. We are proud as Ghanaians.
Yes.
And let us cherish what we have and make better out of it. Let us put away the excesses that we have had. Let us embrace the new and look into a brighter future.
You just
Can you imagine marrying someone from Tamale and the North? The kind of teaser you'll be enjoying every day.
I've stayed in the North before. I've stayed there. Wonderful people. I've stayed in the North, Kapon Hill Estate.
Okay, so we have Oppo. I don't know if I'm getting the pronunciation right. Oppo, if you can hear me, I think you're in the military. So please, if you can hear me, kindly sit, okay? Because we can see you. We see you moving around, you're standing and all of that. So please get seated right now and sing a patriotic song for us this morning. Oppo. That's the Zoom ID you joined with, Oppo. Okay, so we are going to try to take another one whilst Oppo tries to get himself together. And let's see. So who do we have on next on Zoom? Maybell, can you hear me? Maybell, I think that you've turned your camera upside down, so please. Okay, it's good. Hi, Maybell. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, Maybell. How are you? Oh, unfortunately, it seems your internet is quite slow. So it's making it quite difficult. Reverend and I want us to take final submissions on this matter, and then we move away.
Okay, so what I would like to say is, love is a beautiful thing, and true love is hard to find. When you find yours, don't let go. Don't allow intimidation from family members about the man that you love to destroy the love that you find. Because when you are living in the person's home or you are living together with the person, tribe is not the center of your life. It is love. It is respect. It is trust. It is belief. So take your man and go. Just make sure you get the blessing of his parents. The blessing of the parents, you cannot replace it with anything.
That's true.
Even if the sisters are not approving, and at least you get the mother. You can work through the mother and you can get the sisters. But if it's the other way around, it's difficult. But you see, you cannot always get all of them loving you. But the most important thing is if the man loves you and his father and his mother, it's okay. But why should we go through this? It
shouldn't be difficult.
And you cannot marry your brother. You cannot marry your son.
You can't.
Yes. So why do you all the restrictions and now
some too have the issue of, do you know what I had to go through to convince my mother-in-law or to let my mother-in-law love me and all those things? My goodness. They have all sorts of stories and all sorts of excuses to misbehave.
Yeah, that is why some men have gotten to 50, they have not married because their mother was impeding their way all through. Now your mother is dead and gone and you are alone. You have no wife. Your mother is gone. So let me invite you to Authority Bible Church every Sunday, 3 p.m. in the afternoon at La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. Authority Bible Church. Ready for you.
Right. Reverend Daniel.
Very simple. Let's respect people. Let's value people. Let's cherish what we have. And when we have challenges, let us not be quick to run away from challenges. He who fights and run away lives to fight another day. So be diligent to solve the problem and move on.
And that's it for Let's Talk Relationship for today's edition of Prime Morning. Thank you to all our Zoomers who joined us. You know tomorrow is Friday. Every single Friday, you get the opportunity to join us on Zoom and share your thoughts on the topic that will be discussed. So you can join us and sing a patriotic song so that you win amazing prizes. My name is Essie Edwa. Komiake MJ was here with me as well. We can't wait to see you again tomorrow. Bye.